awake either fucking way.
Started yeah.
With or fucking without you.
Yeah, with or without you, we're awake. But here we are.
All right, I'm pressing report.
Oh, yeah, I already did. Here we are. Another episode of Adventures in Loxos. I know that it's been a while since we got to do another recording. This time of year, though, has always been this off and on thing for us in this campaign. Like, this is consistent for us as far as, like, the holidays go. We're always Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. Those three holidays right there always has us on like an up and down thing, and then when summer comes around, we usually like bang it out.
Stripper's booty. Like the hook.
So here we are, another session of Adventures in Loxos. I'm Lord Pog of Lord Pog Gaming, and I'm accompanied by dem old school gamers. And yeah, let's just jump right into our character introductions, shall we? Starting from the top, you know him. Women love him. Beasts fear him. He is our human slayer.
Racial slurs redacted.
He's our human slayer / dragon shaman / dragon totem, if you will. Totem of Fenrir, the red dead dragon god. Quill. And he will be being played tonight by AGTX the Dragons. If it helps, dragons, just think of the as like fireworks going off. You know?
It doesn't help.
Like every time I say your name, it's like fireworks are going off. You know?
In fact, I think it gets more triggering every time.
He is the... And the thing about Quill is that he is probably the most consistent of all the group. You know what Quill is going to say and what Quill is going to do in just about every situation.
He's our paragon.
Yeah, you know.
He's our cornerstone.
He's consistently consistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to do one thing and he's going to do one thing well.
Yep. You always know what his opinion's going to be. You always know what his opinion's going to be in any given situation.
You may not like it, but you know.
$sign.
You may not like it, but you definitely don't have to fucking guess. That's for sure.
Money, money, money. And that's Quill, y'all. That's Quill.
Daddy Fat Sex here to say hi.
Then we have, let's see, who's in the order here? Cassid 69.
There you go.
Who will be playing Garrigus? Sorry. Every time. The Mycetid Pion Mender. And a Mycetid is basically just a mushroom folk, a humanoid mushroom, about 4 foot tall. And our Garrigus is special because they aren't just because they aren't just a Mycetid. They are a subrace of Mycetid known as the androgyny, meaning they're neither male nor female. They are completely asexual within the plant fungi world, if you will. Which gives them extra abilities, and that's why a Garrigus is a Pion Mender, which is a homebrew class. Think of it as like a monster class, if you will. Specific only to the Mycetid race. And the thing about a Garrigus is, well, they're a Garrigus. I was thinking about this. A Garrigus reminds me of the Buddhist Tao religion. Well, and I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain it. Because while some people like fret, some people like think of like Schopenhauer's will to live, people have like that hole in them, the will to live. It's neither good nor evil. It just wants to consume, and it's up to each individual to control it. Some people try to fill it with money or this or that, And so you got these people around you who are constantly fretting and striving and trying to accomplish while Agaragis is happy to just be Agaragis, they really are just like a good representation of the Buddhist Tao. Because while, you know, for instance, Android, tries to rebuild his house, and Yu Quill plots on power, Agaragis just is. Agaragis just is. And I think that is
for your dissertation. I'm just being a dick. Go on.
You know what though? If I was in college, I would make an essay on this. So, but yeah, I could.
So stuff it up your ass.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, you could put D&D on a job application.
You can. It may not be wise, but you can.
It depends.
I come together weekly with a group of people to problem solve and figure out answers to difficult situations.
See, that's
I think you're giving us too much credit.
Well,
we do not.
You know what? To be fair, you're right. I should addendum that and be like, I lead a group of people and help guide them
blindly through the dark.
Yes, but that's Agaragis, everybody. Then we have, let's see, who's next on the list? We have Icy Hot 2305, not to be confused with Icy Hot 2304. I still don't know why I did that. And they will be playing Zoltan Heisenberg, our half drow, half man, half human, deep druid. And everybody gets quiet because we know what's coming. You know what? I like how every time it's Zoltan's turn, everybody just gets quiet. It's the anticipation.
Here it comes.
Give us what we're waiting for.
He's a deep druid, which isn't your mama's druid, or your mama's druid, or your mama's druid. On those rare occasions where maybe he is your mama's druid. But to say all that, it means that a deep druid doesn't get their abilities from, blue skies and rainbows and sunny beams from heaven, forests, fields, typical things that, conjure up druidic thought. No, he gets them from caves and mountains and the subterranean places, the underground, the cockles.
That's fucking right, baby.
He gets them from the cockles. He is the antithesis of what you would think of as a druid. And I've been thinking about Zoltan here lately as well. He's one of those people who just kind of falls ass backwards into success every time. And I don't really know how he does it.
It's a calculated risk.
But he does it. Somehow he always manages to just kind of, he manages to get himself into these funky situations and then just kind of fumble through it till success. I have noticed that is Sultan's shtick, if you will. And he's got a lot of power for a goofball.
Too much, one would say.
Person drow cockles.
Yeah, but that's our Zoltan Heisenberg, y'all. Tempest Inferno won't be joining us tonight. He's got a early day tomorrow, so at work and everything, so he's not going to be here today, but he does typically play Otis Hirokin, our halfling cleric / favorite soul / champion of Obad High. So, Otis, just quit your job, man, so you can play D&D. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. Anyway.
Man, right? Wouldn't that be the life?
Yeah. It would be nice if you could get away with it. Then we have Mindoc, who will be playing Mindoc.
No.
Our high elf wizard. And thing about Mindoc is, well, let's because we can't really talk about Mindoc's past too much, other than the fact that when he ventured with the party the first time, they did not end on good terms. And so his return to the group has everybody kind of like on the defensive a little bit. But what we can say about this Mindoc is that he is well, he's kind of playing with fire a little bit. he hasn't.
Does that mean different to previously?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, he hasn't returned to the group. He hasn't been back with the group for more than just like a few. Well, what would be in game, like a few weeks time now, and already he's inquired about probably one of the most powerful wizards. Met one of the most powerful wizards and inquired about him, Haster Blackcloak, or is that his name? Not Haster. What is his name? He's like
Alistair Blackwell. Is that what it is? Or
No.
Blackcloak or something?
Yeah,
I thought it was Alistair.
It might be Alistair. You know, it's funny because I should remember this because he's actually like well known within like D&D, like Hallister. Yeah, not Haster, Hallister. Hallister Blackcloak. Who yeah, he's already made acquaintances with him and drawn Hallister's attention to him. He's got a little demon trapped in a vial. He's got a talking skull. He's got
It's going well.
He's got a crow that is
Very wizardly.
Yeah, he's got a crow that is currently hanging out with Uquil and Agargus, a whole continent, a whole like 2 continents away. Yeah, he's just. It's like he never left. It's like he never left. And that's Mindoc, everybody. And the circumstances behind his original tenure with the Inglorious Few, well, that will eventually make itself evident, and people will eventually talk about it. Android and him have gone over it a little bit. And I imagine eventually Uquil, when Uquil gets a chance, he's really going to just, be like, all right, now that I have a moment. So, yeah, so that is Mindoc. Then we have Android. Last but not least.
Resident MC, and by that I mean Master of Ceremonies.
I mean, sure. And he will be playing Lord Android Farizon of House Farizon. He is a half elf, half wood elf, half human. Bard / Paladin, which our Paladin comes from the 3.5 Unearthed Arcana book, which turns the Paladin into a prestige class, so it's all killer, no filler. / Saint of Corlon Larethian. And yeah, Android is currently just he is about to get a crash course in bureaucracy. Thing about Android is Android was
He's like pulling his collar nervously. He's like,
yeah. Well, like, Android's had quite the character arc. He started off. Most people don't realize is that he's actually a subclass of Bard, which also comes out of the Unearthed Arcana book, called a Savage Bard. And Android doesn't do it very often, but every once in a while he can pop off and actually kind of go into like a rage-like state, kind of like a barbarian. It doesn't do the crazy things that the barbarian does, But what he does is he sacrifices some of his bardic abilities for more like nastier damaging abilities, I believe. And he's manifested it a little bit in certain ways. One of the ways that you've seen it is the fact that he can fight a little bit better than your typical bard can, physically, not just, with his magic and trickery. He can actually like throw hands a little bit. So there is that, but he has over time kind of learned to soothe the that anger a little bit. And I only bring this up because this was a plot point that I'm sure he thought we had moved past, but may start becoming relevant once again here real soon.
Yeah.
He had his reasons for being an angry guy. And so that, we'll get to it.
Weirdly long-term project set up for that. I'm struggling with, but we'll get to it.
Yeah,
It'll hit you when it hits you.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Oh, and I'm the piece of crap DM, Lord Pog. Welcome, everybody.
Piece of crap aristocrat.
Piece of crap aristocrat. I like that. I am the piece of crap aristocrat. Yes.
Yeah.
PCA, baby. PCA.
Oh, yeah.
PCA DM. Okay, anyway. PCA DM at LPG. Okay, I'm having way too much fun with that.
Okay.
I never met an OG. Okay,
That's enough.
anyway.
That's enough.
So, yeah, welcome to Lord Pod Gaming. As you can see, you guys, the Golden Wonders, the audience at home, are in for a wild ride. We haven't done this in a minute, and so we're pretty hyped. So let's roll that beautiful intro there.
right here. Oh my god. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
You can like literally like in that silence. I don't know if anybody else can hear it, but my dog is just back there drinking water like it's going extinct or something.
I couldn't hear it, but that would be really funny to come back on.
It's all, they're gonna be like, what did they start doing while they were gone? Anyway.
I already told you, lick and put. Okay.
All right. So as a brief recap, because really not a lot has happened since you guys, since the last session, but just as a brief recap, Uquill went to the Elemental Temple in Pengshun in the Kuatoa Shogunate. He went to the city. Well, it's a city, but it's like more like a town, like a village, but known as Abuchi to speak. Or he went to the Temple of the Elemental Fist because he thought he had heard that their Grand Master there was a man by the name of Tak Kuro. And when I say man, I use that term very lightly because it did turn out to be the Tak he knew, who is a Kenku, but he is the owl version Kenku, which there's whole kinds of lore behind the different kinds of Kenku that I'm not even going to get into because nobody's asked me. But yeah, he's an owl version.
Really cool.
he's the owl version of a Kenku, which a typical Kenku just looks like a crow, and they're about 4 foot tall, like halfling sized, humanoid bird-like people. I'm still here, right? You guys can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I heard something go boo, and my microphone has been doing that all freaking night. So I just wanted to make sure that it did not cut out. Anyway, so yeah, but it turned out to be the Tak that you guys had ventured with, who vanished.
My name is Jeff.
Who vanished one mysteriously when you guys were searching these tombs. The shadows crept up on Tak and he just vanished. And Tak told you, Quill, he ended up in like a whole new reality, and he still feels like a part of him is still there in that reality. Almost like he's been schismed. Like there's two versions of himself now. There's the version of this reality and the version of that reality. And he doesn't really understand it himself, but he said, all of nature, all of creation, has duality, so why shouldn't he? Type of thing. It got real philosophical, and then Uquill basically.
Which one is the real me?
Yeah, and then Uquill began to, was just, like, hey, that's cool, man. Yeah, verified it and went to leave. Agaragis is currently studying martial arts with I don't know if you could say their new friend, but it's definitely an acquaintance. Yeah, Agaragis has definitely made an acquaintance of Fozua. He's a dragoon. Sorry?
I said per usual.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like,
No one wants to be my friend. They're only my acquaintance.
Well, I mean,
Facts.
I don't. I didn't say that.
That's what
I mean, your character only has the face a mother could love type thing. It's inherently just a lost cause.
To be fair, Fozua thinks that Agaragis is cool, and that's what I was gonna get into. Was that they've been trying to teach him martial arts, and Agaragis is picking it up like it's like second nature to them. And so I would say that, like, if Agaragis wants to make friends, Agaragis should, make that known type of thing. Cause, but, I would say that this dude is friendly with Agaragis. They think Agaragis is cool. It's really up to Agaragis on whether or not Agaragis thinks of this person as a friend or not. But Fozua is a dragoon, which is like a dragonborn, only they typically are skinnier. And Dragonborn in this campaign, in this world of this like Loxos, this homebrew world, Dragonborn aren't born with wings and don't typically have like breath weapons, which I know clutching the pearls there, but what they lack in all of that they make up for in other ways. While Dragoon aren't as hardy as Dragonborn, they are born with they can be born with wings and have breath abilities. Also, Dragoon aren't chromatic. They don't represent like the red dragon, the black dragon, all of that. They represent the different kinds of dragons, the more existential dragons like Force, Shadow, Wind, and Prismatic. So that's their type of thing. So their colors technically are like blends of colors. Yeah, just moving along there. But yeah, Agaragis has been hanging out with Fojua learning martial arts, and Agaragis has picked up the Stunning Fist. So Agaragis now can perform a Stunning Fist attack without having to be a monk or have unarmed attack at all, which is impressive.
My father is Bruce Lee.
No, your father is Fung Lee.
Oh.
Okay.
Alright, we'll leave it at that.
That's ugly.
Wah, 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 wah. Anyways. So we have Otis and you audience at home tuning in for the first time might be like, why is this DM let his party split themselves up so far out and everything? Because I can handle it.
It's
and
tradition.
Because I can handle
it's
it.
What we do.
Yeah, I can handle it as a DM, and the party likes it. Believe me, if they were going to run into something that they couldn't handle one by themselves, well, you just don't do that as a DM. Anyways, unless there's.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was unmuted when I was making so much noise just now.
What were you doing?
My bad.
What were you doing?
Oh, I was screaming about the fact that I just dropped my drink on the floor, but my fault.
You know what? I didn't even hear it. So, which I don't know says more about me than it does about you. Actually, the fact that I talk so freaking loud that I can't even hear somebody yelling over myself. Well, we'll unpack all that later. Anyways,
Yeesh.
so Otis, our halfling, who won't be here tonight, so we won't get too much into what happened with him, but we will talk about who came with him to Highforce. See, they are on the continent of Siren, which is 2 continents away from where Agaragis and Uquil are in the continent of Pangshun. On the continent of Siren, they are in the nation of Highgarden right now, or Highforest, I should say, at the capital city of Highgarden. And while Otis is off rediscovering himself, if you will, Zoltan, who had never had a lot of interaction with halflings before, is kind of digging the forest life. The halflings kind of have because the only halfling he's had to go by is Otis, who is not your typical halfling, he has come to find out that maybe these halflings have a certain temperament similar to his own. And so he's been hanging out with a couple of halflings by the names of, let's see, what are their names? Why do you do this, computer? Their names are
Miss and Wrinkle.
Yeah, Everett Whitwhitley and Topin Whitwhitley, and they are twins, actually. And they've just been hanging out with Zoltan, teaching him what was that game called? Crazy Dice? It's called Crazy Dice.
Yes.
Yeah, Crazy Dice.
They've been teaching him Crazy Dice, and then he almost got robbed. Which I say robbed, but really, if you ask any halfling, they don't rob you. You know,
They're just picking up. Just drops.
You dropped it. They just found it, and they're like, "Oh, that's yours. Here you go."
You should have said so. I should.
So they're just taking him around town, just showing him the sights while he waits to see what's going to happen with Otis. We jump over to Android and Mindoc, who are also on the continent of Siren, but they are in the nation of Whitesword, at the capital city of Whitesword. They talked with the League of the Adventurers League, and Mindoc is a bit curious about coming back there and just kind of exploring this like pocket dimension that they exist in. But what the Adventurers League is it's kind of like there's no such thing as just people picking up a sword and saying, "Hey, I'm going to go out and adventure." I mean, there is, and you do have some, but once you start making a name for yourself, the Adventurers League comes knocking at your door and starts expecting, information. It's kind of like think of it as the think of it as the HOA of adventurers, the housing authority, the HAAO or whatever that is. You know what I'm talking about? Like how nice neighborhoods have those like housing authorities or whatever, where it's just people coming in being like, "Your grass is too high. I'm going to need you to mow it. It's to make the neighborhood look better, or we're going to have to fine you." And it's like, what? Yeah, those pretentious people. The Adventurers League is kind of the HOA of adventurers. They kind of.
We just lost both of our viewers.
Yeah. With that said, though, they're not as, but they aren't as pretentious. They're
completely pretentious. We did absolutely nothing to deserve oversight.
Well, that is not
exactly
true. That is not true, because when you guys
it is entirely true.
They
who tells me
they created the Adventurers League.
Who watches the Watchmen?
They created the Adventurers League solely because of the history of the Inglorious Few 5 years prior, and all of the things that resulted of what happened when they were adventuring. Which, a little bit of backstory now for the audience.
Nothing. We saved the fucking world.
The group adventured.
We ended it a few times.
No,
it's true. We saved it.
They defeated a guy by the name of Eli Cunning, who had the Thanafix staff, which, if you don't know your D&D lore, the Thanafix staff is the magic staff of Toldoth, who's a pretty nasty character. These are all, common characters within all of D&D lore, so look them up. But they did defeat this guy, Eli Cunning, who was in possession of the staff. And after that, a lot of things, and then everybody thought they died, because there was a huge explosion. Everybody thought they died, but really what happened was they were all transported to different places, and when they returned, 5 years had gone by. So it's like they're almost like mythological people now, walking amongst these, because everybody has just, from the common farmer to the highest noble, everybody has some kind of rudimentary knowledge of the Inglorious Few. And after they vanished, a plague happened. A portal to the abyss opened up. The gods
vanished. And we get blamed for all this.
The gods vanished. How do you not know that you aren't to blame?
Nah, we're gangster.
Yeah, we didn't. Nothing. That you have no proof. There's no smoking gun. The glove does not fit.
Yeah,
if the glove does not fit, you must acquit. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that O.J. Simpson case, man. Do you know a lot more evidence actually points to his son from a previous marriage being responsible for that than he did? And if that's the case, If that's the case,
his son didn't release the book.
well, I mean, anyways. Well, no, there's a lot of evidence that points to it, though. There's just a lot of evidence that points to it. And it's weird because he never brought it up in court or anything. Like, this is all stuff that people have had to, like, research on the side. He never brought it up, which I gotta say, if he didn't do it, but he knew his son did it, and he still, like, allowed people to, like, pretty much spit on his name afterwards, I mean, that's a dad right there, man, I guess, you know? I mean, what the heck? But anyways.
You know what? I agree.
Yeah. But regardless, now that we're getting back up out of that rabbit hole, yeah, so regardless, whether you guys are responsible or not, right? The Adventurers League was started as a result of this to help. It's not so much to be the HOA, it's more or less to help organize adventurers and get them to places that they need to be at times they need to be there. With that said, yes, Android and MindDoc met the representatives of the Adventurers League, and they had a conversation, and they left. And now Android's currently getting ready. He's about to go with Sebastian and handle business matters that have been needing to be handled for quite a while. And I'm not entirely sure what MindDoc's actually doing. I don't know if MindDoc wants to accompany Android or what, because that's kind of where we stopped. Is with MindDoc. I'm going to assume right now that is what MindDoc's doing. He's just kind of accompanying Android as they handle this business. You know?
Where exactly is this taking place? Like, is Android staying at the estate or going?
He's at the estate right now, yeah. Yeah,
okay.
Everybody's just staying at the
venturing
estate.
out?
No.
To handle business?
No, the business you're handling is, and I believe is, Sebastian said that you had people there who have been waiting to speak with you about certain matters.
Oh,
you had,
that's right. I remember.
And here, let me get you a more comprehensive thing so you know what I mean? Exactly who and what and why. Because you already handled the thing with Hargrow Jawbreaker, his two hires, Broma Gruel and Gara Gruel, the two bugbear women.
Love them.
That he brought in as extra security. You handled that with them. You still have let's see. You still have a gentleman by the name of Jared Steele waiting to speak with you because you were inquiring about ammo, how to acquire more ammo for the bad day, which is a pistol. You know?
Love it.
And you also have a gentleman here by the name of Dargus Wave Smasher, who is an ex seaman. I don't know what else to call.
Oh,
he's an ex ocean faring bloke. But you were inquiring about a certain gentleman by the name of Captain Corsair, and this Dargus may have some information on that. And so these two have been waiting for you to speak with you as of now. And that's the business that you have. Also, you have the Lords and Ladies Gala coming up, where, once a year.
When is that? Like, supposed to be like a couple days, or is it like in a couple hours? Or is it like tonight?
It's gonna be tonight. I didn't give a specific time frame on it at the time it was first mentioned, so we're just gonna say it's tonight. It's tonight. You made it back just in time. Yeah, Sebastian wanted you back, because he's like, you need to be here for a lot of things, your liaison. Sebastian. So, yeah.
Okay. well, yeah, presumably I heard this checklist of things that are being done.
You do all about it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These things don't particularly interest my dog. I'm gonna go back through that doorway I made into my little place.
Into your mansion. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's been long enough for that to dispose.
No, it will only it won't disperse because you put that rune on there to hold it.
Oh, I used a rune? Okay,
yeah, remember you drew something on the door to make that kind of a permanent thing, you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And okay, so the way it can work is, the way you can have it work is it can activate when you want it to activate, and then you can deactivate the rune whenever you want to. That way, when anybody else opens up that door, they just see the bare bedroom instead of like somebody accidentally, like one of the cleaning ladies coming in to clean your room in the morning, and she finds this mansion and then just turns stark white and dies of a heart attack when she sees your faceless servants.
She says, Dios mío.
Yes.
But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Type of thing. So that's the way it can work. Okay. So yeah, your room will stay there as long as that room will stay activated as long or as short as you want it to. And then if you ever really want to just get rid of it completely, you just destroy the room, which will effectively destroy the door, but whatever. You know,
they can deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
They've got money, apparently. They can handle that. You know, what's one door? That was made from the finest oak. Anyway. But yeah. So.
Yes. No.
Yeah, so that's what you're going to do is you're going to go back into your mansion. Okay.
Are you gonna fucking send it?
All right. So, I'm going to actually jump to a Garrigus real quick because when we ended last week too, we were talking about what MindDoc was going to do, and I went to go to a Garrigus, or not last week, but last session, the last session we had, and Agaragis and Android had both passed out because they had a really busy day. And
because I'm lame.
Lax
I'm the lamest
constitution
person on earth.
Well, the imagery it conjured up in my mind cracked me up because I just like pictured both Android and Agaragis both just sleeping like at their separate stations, just both passed out. And then every once in a while,
you gotta see my computer room, right? Because we're set up on the same computer stand, but where we sit at, what we use for seating is it's like a closet that's built into the wall. So we just sit on the little step right there, and it's not very huge. So when we both woke up, we were like crumpled up in some crazy mess of flesh, and our dogs were up here with us also. Both of them, and they're like medium large dogs. You know?
Yeah.
It is not enough room. Like, it is like 3 foot by 4.5 foot.
Well, that explains a lot, because every once in a while, like, Agaragis would just type a random number with a period every time and send it in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Is this like a Morse code? Are you in trouble? Are you in trouble? It's 23. This adds up to 23. Anyway. Yeah, but anyways. So, like, I knew
the ratio of the Earth is 23.5 degrees, and once it sits upon its axis and spins.
So, with all that in mind, we're going to go to Agaragis, and we're going to start with Agaragis, like officially start with Agaragis, now that we're like almost an hour into this thing. Agaragis goes, oh. Uh-oh.
You mean you're gonna make me roll stuff and play D&D?
You mean I've got to role play now? Oh, God.
You want me to 2-4?
So Agaragis, you have been practicing martial arts with Fojua, and you've learned the stunning fist and everything, and you know, it's Foju has been trying to make like small talk with you, you know, just here and there, just like asking where you're from. He's like, so you say you're from the underworld? I've heard of it, but like, where exactly from the underworld are you from? You know, and just things like that. What is is Agaragis being responsive to most of this, or?
Yes, but he's in the way of like the ground, and he just points down.
And he looks and he's like, he like points at the ground. He goes, "You're from the ground."
And he just shakes his head. He feels like he's giving him a lot of detail, but
yeah. He goes, when you say ground, you mean like, and he looks you up and down and realizes that you're basically like a humanoid fungus. And he goes, so when you say you're from the ground, don't take this the wrong way. Of course, I'm not meaning anything by it, but do you mean like you were grown? You're like, you know, like a plant, like, and he just kind of points at like a mushroom growing out of the tree. He's like, you mean like, it's kind of motions to it, like that's what you mean by the ground, or
can you say, "Hey, Jim," to the mushroom real quick?
yeah, you can play as much D&D as you like. He just
like, for all I know, that could be my cousin, but
he kind of like looks at the mushroom and like he's like, it's got a name. Like he's looking at it like, oh, he knows its name. He could talk to the mushrooms. Goes, did I eat any of those today?
No.
I might have eaten one of these this dude's ancestors. I don't know. And like he looks very conflicted now. He's like, but I like mushrooms. He goes, oh, so what brings you here out of the underworld? I mean, I've heard tale from those few who have ventured there and returned that it's a pretty treacherous place.
Liked it all right.
That's the best response ever. I did all right.
Good answer.
He's kind of like thinking on it for a second, and he's like, you know my group? Or like my friends?
He goes, no.
And he goes, no? Question mark?
He goes, no, I don't. He goes, I don't know anything about any of you. I know that the Grand Master invited your friend to come and study philosophy, I guess. Well, you know, Grandmaster Yang Pan Lu, but beyond that, I don't know. You know, I don't know any of you. He goes, in fact, until I almost accidentally killed you earlier, I didn't even know you were here, if I'm being honest. He goes, all except for the three-headed beast, because that thing has been eating us out of temple and home. He goes, that thing is kind of hard to ignore.
He just scratches his head a little bit, and he's like, I don't know whether... Okay, and he just goes into grave detail about everybody in the party, but doesn't give him any other context other than just them themselves.
Like their name, what they are, and all that, but like no real like context as to, oh, okay. He goes,
yeah, no story, nothing, just...
He's like, oh, okay. And they're not here with you guys, so, huh? Well, why did you come with the big one then, instead of staying with the rest of your friends?
Jerichus is like, honestly, I don't even know where everybody else. Like, well, I don't know what happened to them. I'm assuming they're fine.
Yes, I see. He goes, you know what? You're oddly interesting, Agaragis.
Doesn't answer any of your questions directly.
Says that is And while you guys are having this conversation, all of a sudden you just hear this like gong, and you see Vojua like look and goes, "Oh, that's the urgency gong." He's like, "That's not good. That's not the one we ring for the meal. That's for sure."
He said, "Oh, no bueno."
He says, "Come on, let's go check it out." He goes, "I want to show everybody that I taught you the stunning fist." They'll be like, "Oh, Vojua, you taught a novice the stunning." You taught everybody the stunning fist. And so you guys hurry to the temple, where he like takes you over to the temple area and up onto this little stepped area, like porch area outside of one of the many porches of the temple. And out there, you are greeted by one of the Feng Zhang, right? If you remember the Feng Zhang, they are the panda people, you know. He's a Feng Zhang male who's decked out in a black robe or gi or however you want to call it. He's sitting there holding jade prayer beads. He's got a thin mustache, but one of those long black beards, you know, and he's just got like a real jovial expression on his face. And he's the one that sounded the gong. And as you guys approach him, Agaragis, Vojua is instantly like, "Master Zupo, why are you ringing the call to arms?" And Zupo goes, "I was waiting to see who would come, and he nods at you, Agaragis. He goes, "I see you've made friends with one of our guests."
Agaragis throws up the blood gang sign real quick.
Says, Vojua's like, "Yeah, actually, Master, I even taught them how to do the stunning fist. Isn't that cool? I mean, they're a novice, and I taught them like a real cool, technical move." And Master Zupo sits there quietly for a minute contemplating, and he says, "Vojua, you psychopath." It was too good. I had to use it. He goes,
"What is actually wrong with your head?"
Yeah. He goes, "But it is impressive that you have learned such a technical art in such a short time, Agaragis. Grandmaster Yang Pan Lu also said that you understand our philosophy in ways that he himself never thought about. So,
He just bows.
He says, "But perhaps you two can actually handle the problem that I have. The problem that has arisen to us. I received urgent letter from a hawk fox earlier that the Abixians are getting too close from the Zangoon Mountains. They are currently held up. Let's see. Yeah, Ibixian. Yeah, it's Zangoon Mountains. All right. Just making sure I was getting that terminology correctly because, when you don't use it very often, you kind of lose it." He goes, "Yes, but they are currently having a Bajong issue. And the Ibixian are being pushed too close to the Kuatua borders. And we can't have that, of course. So, when addressed with it, they told us about the Bajong. And so, we've agreed to send a a group ourselves there to handle it, and it shouldn't be anything too difficult. If Fozua, you would like to take Agaragis and go handle the Bajong, that would be great. They're in the Nightmare Pass. But that, Fozua just looks at you, Agaragis, and says, You want to go kill some Bajong?
Are we talking about genocide?
He goes, oh, don't I wish. But no, there's probably just a little group of them.
Agaricus is just like tripped out. Like, that's not the response he should have.
He like takes notice of that like weirded out like expression you have, and he goes, oh no, don't misunderstand me. The Bajong are terrible. We would be doing society a service if we could find a way to wipe them out.
Agaricus keeps it to himself, but he knows that's propaganda.
He says, they're like, because they're these little devious little creature, you know, like, because they don't really, they exist in small nomadic tribes, and they hunt and kill the nightmare and take their faces, and it gives them terrible abilities. He says, which brings me to a question there. If the Ibixian are getting pushed out by the Bajong, what exactly, and that's when Zupo says, I only have the information that I have. Go find out yourself as to why a small Bajong group could push out one of the Ibixian tribes. Fozua just looks at you again, Agaragis. He goes, well, you wanna come with me or no? Test out some of that stunning fist.
He shakes his head in like excitement because he's like, I finally get to try it out.
He goes, cool. He goes, all right. Don't worry, Master Poe. We got you. And Master Poe just goes, aha, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Agaricus is like, see ya, Poe.
He says, skadoosh. So you guys begin to move further on. You are currently moving away from the temple there. Let me bring you up a picture of this so you know exactly where you are. So, the green dots represent the Kuatua show. The green dots. Not the trees, but the dots. Up in the top right corner, you'll see like green dots making a border there, and you'll see that tower-like structure there. That is the Golden Lotus Monastery, and you guys are going just deeper into these mountains, which are typically known. The entire mountain range is actually known as the Sangoon Mountains, but there are sections of it. And you will be headed towards what they call the Nightmare Pass. You know, as a whole, the Sangoon Mountains are just that, the Sangoon Mountains. But you again will be moving to this section of the Sangoon Mountains known as the Nightmare Pass, which he will Fozua knows where that's at. He will take you there, and hopefully you won't die. I mean, you know, that would be really inconvenient for you if you did. But if you, up in the top right corner, if you look at that picture closely, you'll see that the tallest tower there in the corner of the Kuatua shogunate. You got the green dots that indicate where their borders are. You are basically moving south. So you will be actually exiting the Kuatuan shogunate and just like real low key entering what is known as the Six Demon shogunate territory.
Oh.
Yeah. They are known as the Six Demons, and it's their shogunate. And you won't be going down out of the mountains at all, but the Nightmare Pass is located up in that section. And they call it the Nightmare Pass because in Pengshun, and Foju is just kind of exposition dumping this on you, just kind of talking, making conversation. But he's like, they call it the Nightmare Pass, not because it's actually just a terrible place to go through or anything, although it is nice because it's one of the few areas in the Sangu Mountains as a whole that has several passable passages through it that interconnect with one another. And they call it the Nightmare Pass because it's where the nightmare travel from mostly. It says no other shogunate has as high of a concentration of nightmare as the Six Demon shogunate, which is funny because the nightmare are typically peaceful and loving creatures, although you wouldn't know it to look at them. He says, but yeah, they travel through this Nightmare Pass, and it's the easiest way for them to get into the Sangu Mountains, so we call this the Nightmare Pass. He says, and every once in a while we get a collective of Bajong up in here who like to, again, like I said, they like to murder the nightmare, and they go through a ritual, though nobody's ever actually seen it, where they replace their own heads with the nightmare's head.
Nightmare.
Yeah, and it gives them it gives them terrible powers. Terrible abilities. The Bajong are just filthy little creatures. I hate them so much. He goes, especially the fact that they could kill such a sacred animal as the nightmare. Which is not to be confused with the Kuatuan nightmare. That thing is hideous. And I wish the Bajong would just kill them. So you guys travel for a little bit, and this is not a fast trip. There is a lot of climbing and walking. They walk. I'm not a third of the way done. But it's not like when you first arrived in Pengshun. Again, the Nightmare Pass isn't the worst place on the planet, so a lot of the travel has actually been fairly easy. It's just a lot of walking. And before long, the sun begins to set. And you realize you're going to have to be making camp soon or doing something. Is there any ideas that Agaragis has in regards to this fact?
What, camping?
Yeah, just like the fact that it's getting late, sun's going down, you're not going to reach your destination, the destination that you're trying for today,
Pocket dimension. Can't worry about it.
So Vojua begins looking around, and he's like, well, he goes, we don't seem to have any bamboo growing, so we can't cut that down to make us a little shelter. And like while he's talking, Agaragis, he just watches as you like just do your thing and conjure up your little pocket dimension door. You just open up a door to the fabric of reality. He goes, "Hey, what? Wait, where are you going? What are you doing?"
What are those?
Does Agaragis like shut the door on them, or does Agaragis wait? What does Agaragis do?
He was going to shut the door because he's like, I got it figured out. You know, he didn't really give much thought about him. But he stops and he's like, well, what? Oh, this is my little lab. Do you need room?
He goes, "You got wait."
Night.
He says, wait. Like, now, you remember when, like, how, like, flabbergasted you were when he was explaining, like, how the Bajong need to be, you know, decimated? It's a similar, like, experience, flurry of emotions he's experiencing now. He's like, wait a minute. I just saw you literally open a door. It's like you grabbed reality itself and tore it open to reveal. And he kind of looks in and he goes, "A cabin with." Yeah, I mean, clearly you had alchemy. He's just like, He goes, "How do you do this? What are you?"
Agaragis.
He says, no, I understand that that's your name. He goes, "We've established that." He goes, "But what are you, Agaragis?" He goes, "This isn't normal. I've heard tell of things that can manipulate reality. In fact, I've seen some things." He goes, "But I've never actually quite seen anybody open, at least not in my lifetime. I've heard tale of people who could do this. There's dangerous people. But," he goes, "Are you actually dangerous? Are you like a Woojin?"
He doesn't respond to that directly. He just says, "Brave new world, old man."
He goes, if I step in here, nothing unnatural is going to happen to me, is it?"
He shakes his head no. Like, that's a ridiculous question.
What's wrong with you, guy?
He says, "Okay," and he just kind of steps in and kind of tightens up his body a little bit, like expecting something to happen, and when nothing does, he just kind of loosens up a little bit, and he goes, "Huh." He goes, "Strange." He goes, "Is this place located somewhere? Like, if you shut that door and I look out that window, am I gonna see like where this place actually is, or am I still gonna see the Sangoon Mountains?"
We're gonna see what we directly see outside right now, but that's my pocket.
He goes, "I see. So we're in your pocket." He goes,
Pocket dimension.
He goes, "I don't know what that means." Like, he just kind of like shakes his head. He goes, this is all bigger than I am. Do you mind if I just kind of like curl up in that corner over there and just kind of ball up and rest my eyes? We're safe here, right?"
He says, "Su casa, mi casa."
He says, "Okay," and he goes and he like sits down, like he just hits a corner, slides down the wall, sits his butt on the ground, brings his like knees up to his chest, and then just like rests his arms on it, and then just buries his head, you know? He's like, oh.
So,
Huh?
as you kind of come in, Crow actually flutters up onto one of the... Is it like raised shelves or something? Up on top one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Peers down at you. And, yeah, Crow's here.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I know. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess I should have clarified that. Agargus has had a crow just chilling on their head for like ever, but because he's just quiet, nobody realizes how like sentient he actually is.
And talking specifically to Agargus, for all these people's flashy capabilities, they know very little of the fundamentals of the weave.
So, just out of curiosity, though, is he doing that mentally, or is he saying that just out loud?
No, mentally too.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, Fojua instantly snaps up and goes, who in the nine hells is that? Now, you said we were saying, but okay.
Exactly.
God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then sort of like glances around and says, so you had this the whole time, and it's extraplanar, I think. I see. Impressive.
Agaricus goes, thanks. Do you think they're illiterate? But he doesn't think to say that in his head. He says it aloud.
Fojua just kind of peeks over his arm with one eye and looks around real quick, kind of nervously. Like, why are they talking to themselves? And then just kind of...
Not likely. I would think they have their own system of writing. Perhaps in your language.
Agaricus just settles with perhaps. He likes that word.
Did Agaricus say that out loud too? Perhaps?
Yes.
Perfect.
Fojua just looks up over once again. He's like, they talk to themselves. Oh, they're a loony. No wonder they picked up the stunning fist. So, Master Poe is right. I am a psychopath. Anyways, though, don't let me interrupt the conversation between Agaricus and Crow.
No, with that, could have said, well, get your rest then. I will be here.
He says, thanks, you too, bud, and then pats him on the head.
They seem to tolerate this.
Yes.
No!
They seem to
Watch my
tolerate this.
lid.
I like that. They seem to tolerate this.
Not that they hate it, they're just not sure they like it.
Yeah. It may not be their favorite in the world, but it ain't exactly like the worst thing ever either for them.
Don't peck at you, but like, they're not cooing.
Yeah. All right, so we travel back in time a little bit to earlier that day with you, Quill. As he was in town again at Ibuchi to meet Tak and just confirm that Tak is the Tak that he knew, you know? And he was being accompanied by two other monks as well of the Golden Lotus Monastery. Master Zenye, who him and her have like, you, Quill, and her have come to like what would you call it? Like a mutual respect of a sorts.
Sure.
She's also going to teach Uquill like some mind techniques, to perhaps hone himself. Something that might mind. That's telekinesis, Kyle.
Exactly. Good boy.
But they're which could help him harness the inner dragon a little bit. You know what I mean? Like help him come to understand that better, He was also being accompanied by Master Igjan Yoji, who is a master as well. He's a dragoon, but he's a force dragoon, which means he's got the charcoal black scales and the blood red scales mixture. And you guys were just on your way to leave Ibuchi, having spoken with Tak and just had yourself a little bit of nostalgia, remembering simpler days, I guess. But while you're traveling through the town of Ibuchi, you hear the most sorrowful cry ring out from a woman who is just sitting. Yeah, she's sitting there. She's cradling her baby in her arms, and she is just weeping in sorrow as like other villagers are standing around, and she's just like, no, you can't take him. You can't take him. That's my baby. And they're like, he won't be. And you just see one of the elderly just say, he won't be your baby very much longer. He will turn and then he will become something far worse. She says, no. And they're like, he's gone. You have to let him go. Let his spirit be free before it becomes trapped within his body and he turns into one of them. And she's just weeping. I mean, just crying. And Zanye stops and just like watches the scene taking place with like a frown on her face. She's like, oh no. That's too bad.
Nani?
Do what?
Nani?
Oh. She looks and goes, you know our language? No, She looks at you, Uquill, and she says, it looks like that mother has lost their child. And it's just sad, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. And that's when you hear like a deeper voice from behind you guys say, oh, I can tell you what's going on there. And Uquill, it's a voice you recognize like almost instantly.
Who that in my house?
Yeah, you turn around just to clarify, like there is no way. When you turn around and look, you see a rather large, like almost 7 foot tall, dragoon standing there. He's one of the wind dragoon. So it means he's got like the brownish, goldish, bronze, like copper scale like look, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he's wearing fancy enough armor, he's all decked out in it, and you recognize him like instantly, although he's no longer wearing the royal helmet that he was wearing when you met him. But you recognize that posture and voice from anywhere. Standing before you is Kara Shin, the exiled emperor of the Dragoon below, who you guys got exiled. He's like, no matter how far I travel, even into the Kuatulan shogunate, I can't seem to get away from you.
What?
Looking ass. Do what?
That's his response. It's just like really of all the people in all the worlds in all the lands, you here?
He's like, well, first of all, since you guys managed to prove my innocence enough to where I wasn't executed, only exiled, the Kuatua shogunate is like the only shogunate that allows just about everybody to exist in it. As long as we don't go into their mountain kingdom, they don't care. They don't care who runs their lands.
Offer him a job.
He goes, and in fact, and he just kind of like puts out like a big old meaty hand and just kind of pats you on the chest. And he goes, why don't you calm down a little bit? I'm not here to pick a fight with you. In fact, I should thank you. He goes, even though it sucks that I'm no longer the shogun of the Dragoon below, I got a pretty good gig what I'm doing now. I got hit up by a group known as the Adventurers League.
Those Chauncey motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm called the Exiled now. They heard about this little tiff going on here in this village and asked, and since I was here already, they asked if I'd look into it. That right there, that baby right there, that ain't gonna be a baby very much longer. By tonight, it's gonna be something far more menacing. What you're looking at right there is the makings of a Kaio Ketsuki.
That's good.
He just looks at you for a minute and goes, you don't know what I just said to you, do you?
No, that faintest idea is far beyond me.
He goes, He goes, it's a language barrier. Even when you understand our language, there are some words that just stay the same. He goes, let me think. Undead bloodsuckers.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. Known for like...
Yeah, they're obnoxious. He just stares at him flatly like, why? Why?
Because apparently they've had one. Because they don't typically like traveling in groups, but they've had one here. He goes, under my rule, we did a good job of keeping them out of our shogunate. But the Kuatua, they're a little bit more loosey-goosey, as you can see. I mean, look at this place. He goes, they've got an Abixian physician living here in Ibauchi. There is no way we would let an Abixian physician work on a dragoon. And then he spits. He goes, but whatever. And says, apparently they have one of this Kayu's Ketsuki running around here at night, eating people. And they've been going through it for a while now. He goes, that the Temple of the Elemental Fist ain't gonna do nothing about it. It's against their, many air quotes, religion. So, here I am, the exiled. Says, tell you what, oh great adventurer of the inglorious few. Yeah, I know who you are now, thanks to the lore at the league. Goes, you want to show me what adventuring does and help me kill this thing or what? They're pretty nasty.
He just laughs. He's like, you have no fucking idea.
The thing that's throwing you off, though, is it sounds familiar, but he did use the word undead.
Yeah.
And the damn fear, as you know them, are not technically undead. They have similar qualities to everything he's talking about. But these things aren't technically... Now, they create undead. If a damn fear bites a mortal and they become what they call a vampire, that's undead. But it's just all kind of weird to you because you're like, do they have damn fear over here? Like, you know, like what creates the Kayu Ketsuke? You know what I mean? Like it's an interesting dynamic you're learning right here. Like, they have these things, but don't have these things.
Yeah, he's gonna kill it with an extreme prejudice either way.
Yeah. But that Zenye is like, well, we're gonna head back because it would be against our code of ethics to get involved too. And with that, Karashin just kind of waves her off and he goes, you can go then. This one and we don't suffer from moral conundrums, do we?
Yuquil just sighs heavily.
Says, oh yeah, I learned about you and yours.
Evidently not enough. But yeah, he just looks at her and he's like, "She, either you coming or you going. But I hate to see you go. I'd love to see you stay."
She says,
guns.
She says we can't.
I'll catch you on the flip-flop because that thing's got to die.
She says we're sworn to protect our monasteries, and that's all. She says we can't get involved with the people. That's the rules. She says it's more of a rule than it is a conundrum. She like eyes Karashin just kind of like, you know. She goes, but if someone were to feel froggy and want to jump and attack the monastery one day, they might learn exactly what we're capable of. With that, Shin just kind of laughs. He's like,
I give him the good old elbow in the chest. He's like, see why I like this one? See why I like this one? It's feisty. It's wiry.
He says, yeah, whatever.
It's wiry.
He says,
what's that? Wiry.
He says, go train for another 30 years and see if next year you can become the honored Jingzhu.
See, that's cold. That's cold. Oh,
she does. She balls up her fists and acts like she's going to do something. And that's when the other master who's been sitting there quietly just observing, maybe years of practice has taught him how to control himself. But Master Ixang, he puts a hand on her shoulder and he goes, come now. This is between rivals. We have no place here, Zenye. And he goes, Yuquil, you know the way back. Don't die.
Yeah. Oh, no. That thing's gonna wish the 9 hells came and got it before I got there.
He says, perhaps. He says, but they are menacing. These Kayu Ketsuke. Sorry, that's a mouthful. He says they are menacing creatures. Just be on your guard. He definitely won't be alone.
That tracks.
With that, Karajin, the armor-clad exile, as he's now known, the exiled, he just turns and looks at you and says, well, first things first is we've got to learn to track it. He says, I got an idea, but you might not like it.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
He says, what if, and he's now talking to you as Zenye and oh man, why can't I remember that dude's name ever? The other one go walking off, you know, like depart, you know?
Yeah.
I
just give her a little wink as she walks away and then just continue my conversation with him. Yuko's gonna be Yuko. Every day, all day. Don't forget.
She's so irritated, she just rolls her eyes at that. Like, she's just, no, window love, get out there, sell. But yeah, the exiled. He looks at you now and he says, "Oh, I have an idea. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. You might not
These never go well.
You might not like this. I don't know.
Start a conversation like that. It's never good."
He goes, maybe if I was dealing with one of the other ones in your group, but he goes, you might be open to this. He goes, they're going to take that child to the Abixian, and he's going to perform the ritual that's going to effectively get rid of its remains to where it will not resurrect as one of these Kaiju Seke.
And you want to use it.
Well, what if we take it, let it turn, and then follow it home?
You know that has a low success rate, right? Just saying.
He says, well, I mean, these things are practically untraceable. That's one of the things that makes them so dangerous. He'd say it would take a master tracker just to find one of them. You know? Because we have legend of one of those, actually. Oh, about 4 years back, there was a Kaiju Seke. This is the rumor, anyways. Over there in the Saozu Shogunate, there was one running around. And they said this foreigner came. They don't know where he came from. Strange man, human like you. Strange man, though, foreigner. Was able to track this thing without any trouble whatsoever. It was like he could see without seeing or something. I don't know. Anyways, it was really weird. He said he was just on his way through because he was going to a certain spot. Said it would take him to the stars or something. I don't know. Strange. Anyways, we never saw him again. He came through, killed the Kaiju Seke, and then left. So, if it takes a literal, like, mythological person to come through and track one of these things, what shot do you and I have?
Yeah, tracking's not exactly my strong suit.
He just pounds his chest, just kind of boom, and he goes, "Look at me." No, mine either.
I mean, again, I don't love the idea.
He says, "Oh no, it's definitely the worst thing we could possibly do, but I feel like it's our only option." He says, "No doubt that Kaiju Seke is going to have other undead. We're definitely walking into a trap."
Yeah, sounds splendid. Almost feel like I'm headed home.
Oh, something I want to point out too. with the Dragoon lore, I said it wrong earlier when I was talking about them. Just so you know, you Quill, because this may become important later on. The Dragoon can get wings and be able to fly, but they do not possess breath weapons. Dragonborn possess breath weapons, but cannot get wings and fly.
Ah, that is a distinction.
Yeah, that's the difference between the two of them. Like, yeah, that's besides just the kind of different dragons they represent and like what they're all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the difference. So Kaira Jhin does not have breath weaponry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he is a mountain. You know?
Fair.
Like, this dude's big.
He's not a small guy.
No.
Fair enough.
And he once was the greatest warrior in all of the Dragoon Shogunate, so. Or at least, you know, was the Shogun. Just because you're the Shogun doesn't necessarily mean you're the best warrior, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. You're no bitch.
Yeah. He says, yeah, so just go over there and take that kid and we'll just wait for the inevitable.
I mean, we don't have a ton of options.
It's okay then. And he just kind of like, he walks over there with you to the wailing woman. They're like, please, just let us take them over there and do what we have to do. And she's like, no, it's my baby. Still, it's my baby. Karashin just kind of clears his throat, which like grabs everybody's attention. He's like, the honored Jingzhu has something to say, and he like shoves you forward.
Oh, son of a bitch. He's like, yeah, we'll take it from here, I suppose.
What the elderly man who's trying to convince the lady to give the child up, he's like, most honored Jingzhu, what brings you to our troubled village? What business do you have here? Why would you want to involve yourself in such affairs?
Passing through, and because. That's like all the explanation he's really willing to give. It's like, it's not a great explanation, but that's all you're getting, Scooter.
With that, Karashin just holds out one of his big old hands, and he's just like, I promise you, lady, that we'll be gentle with the child. And their sacrifice will not be in vain. And when the time is right, we will ensure that their soul goes to heavens.
Yuquil gives him a diabolical side eye.
She just nods and hands the child to him, and he gently puts both the child in both his hands, and then, like, ever so gently, almost as if it was still like living, he brings it up to his chest and then like holds it to him and just, I guess, instinctively just kind of rocks it. He says, and then he looks at you, Yuquil, and he says, let's go. And then he just turns and begins walking off.
He follows.
He looks at you and he says, I really hate this plan too.
You know, as much as I don't want to believe you, I honestly believe you. It's like I may not be your biggest fan, but I don't even think you're that big a piece of shit.
He says, you know what? I think I honestly believe you in that statement too.
He
says, for the record, Everything was fine in the Dragon Shogunate till you showed up. Don't know what to say to that, do you?
It's one of those, like, I mean, shit, Hitler thought he was right up to the very end. Like, what does that mean?
I mean, what does it mean? Yeah. So we're gonna transport ourselves over to Zoltan in High Forest. Zoltan, you have been do what? Hello. You've been playing Crazy Dice with Everett and Topin for a little while, but they've been actually drinking pretty heavily.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, like kind of like a crazy amount too. Like considering that they're both like only 4 feet tall, like they're basically built like small children, and they have been just putting it back like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like human-sized pints, and they've just been knocking them back,
Lambing them,
and yeah, and they've been offering you some as well. Have you been drinking with them?
I would say I would have 2 glasses, but I'm staying aware just in case, you know, if I happen to drop something, I want to know if I drop something.
Oh, right. Go ahead and just roll me. Yeah, just roll me a Constitution. Just a flat Constitution. That'll be in your abilities, and you'll just see the con there.
Nuh-uh.
Just roll that.
Damn it, I'm drunker than shit.
Well, no, you're not, because you said you only were having 2, so you're just a little, like, buzzed, you know? You're not, like, so drunk that you're just, like, being, you know, belligerent like that, but
I turned into a fucking dinosaur.
No, but, like, you're just loosey-goosey enough, just enough, you know what I'm saying? You're just tipsy enough that, like, the halflings have been, like, their women and stuff have been, like, Topin and Everett been out there, you know, shaking a rug with the halfling girls, and they've been like taking you out there and teaching you halfling dances and stuff, and like you almost feel like a kindergarten teacher. You know, because of like you just got your hands down and you guys are like dancing around in circles, and Everett's been like doing like one of those Russian style dances where like, you know, he's like kneeled back and he's just like kicking his feet and every once like holding himself up with one hand, but every once in a while he'll like let his hand go and clap and then put his hand back down and just kick his feet out some more, you know. They've just been, you know, they've been getting it. And you've been doing that most of the day, so much so that you have allowed yourself to forget about Otis. Like you've gotten to such a point that you don't even remember why you were even here in the first place. You're just here having a good time, you know?
Just hanging out.
Yeah. The sun has begun to go down, and you know the people, you know, the wood elves and humans and halflings, you know, different, are just going around lighting the torches, the street lights, if you will, you know, lighting them so people can have lights. And you watch as some of the trees begin to glow kind of magically to give off light as well. And as soon as the sun really begins to go down, Topin and Everett take you around to play practical jokes. It's something they like to do. One of them involves them taking a paper bag, which Everett disappears with for a minute, and when he returns, he's like holding it and he shakes it, and you can tell it's full of something. You just aren't entirely sure what. and he's kind of like shaking it at you, Zoltan, and he's like, all right. You get to do this one. And he like holds the bag out for you. He's like, go ahead and take it. He's like, this is so funny. This is the funniest one we do.
Okay.
So you take the bag in your hand and you realize it's kind of heavy.
Okay.
Do you look inside?
Hell no.
Now let me ask you, is he not looking inside for a meta reason? Or would Zoltan as the character actually be curious as to what's actually in this bag?
Oh, Zoltan just knows better at this point. He's been with these people. He feels like the prank's gonna be on him when he said, "This is the funniest one yet."
They're like, okay, and they point to this little cottage area. It's not built into one of the trees or anything. It's just a little human-made cottage, and they're like, "That's Teddy." And they point over and they're like, you see that? He grows vegetables in his garden, but he's so stingy with them. So we like to teach him a lesson every once in a while. Go take that bag, put it on Teddy's front doorstep, light it on fire, and then knock and run. Run back here and hide. They're like, can you do that? Topin's like, he can do it. He's a big one. It'll only take him a few steps to get back here.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go to the building.
Okay, so you guys are hiding behind like a large root from one of the like big trees here in High Garden, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you go over there and you head over there?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm a shapeshift into one of them, and then I'm gonna do it.
I love it.
So they watch as you shapeshift into one of them, and they're like, "Hey, that's weird." Like he's a druid.
Can I shapeshift into the one that handed me the bag?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna shapeshift into him, and then I'm gonna do it, and then I'm gonna run back.
They're like, that's weird. He can do that. And the other one's like, he's a druid, stupid. Of course he can do that. We can shapeshift. And the other one goes, and then Topin goes, we can? Everett's like, yeah. You turned into a squirrel last week and stole those nuts. Goes, oh yeah. Those were some tasty nuts. Oh.
No.
So, how do you light it on fire?
Did they give me an option?
They didn't give you anything. No, they didn't give you nothing.
Man. let me look at something real quick. Let me just. Un momento, I gotta make sure I ask. Yes. Oh. Damn, what's Flame Strike do?
Yeah,
Just
use that. That'll catch everything on fire.
Just do it.
Nike, motherfucker, Nike.
I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to give you any hints to doing anything because you are tipsy.
Yeah, I know this. This one, like, damn. Zoltan be like, yeah, I could do that. That seems like a fun time. We're gonna use Flame Blade sets my sword on fire, correct? Is that what that does?
Flame Blade would do. Let's see.
What does that do again?
Blade 3.5 E does. Let's see. The quick Google of it. 3-foot long blazing beam of red hot fire springs forth from your hand. You wield this blade-like beam as if it were a scimitar.
Yeah. I do that one, and I set the bag on fire with that, and then I dispel it, and then I just run away.
Okay, roll me another Constitution real fast.
Damn it! We set the house on fire on accident.
I'm gonna say you have to roll higher than a 7.
Yeah, that ain't
Higher than the
happening,
last.
Chief.
Higher than the last roll you rolled.
We getting a 5.
You sure did. Oh
called
my gosh! So you conjure this blade, this flame blade in your hand, and you're like, "I got this!" And you swing, but you're so freaking wobbly that you freaking you hit the bag, but you also strike his door, and it just. I mean, just instantly up in flames. And from behind the root, you just hear Topin and Everett both go, "The bag, stupid, the bag!" They're like, "Hey, run!" And then they just and they take off. They're like, "Come on,
Fly, you fool!"
They're like, "Come on!" Yeah, they're like, "Come on, Zoltan! Don't be a knuckleheaded ninny muggins. Let's go."
Yep, I'm out. I'm running.
You just go take it off with them, and it's not before long. You just hear this dude in the background. "What is going on in my house? Help! Help!" And people just halfling druids just come running up like, "Oh, jeepers!" and start conjuring, like producing water, just putting out the. Like, what happened there? Like, you guys get like far enough away that you're hiding behind just like another large tree. And all three of you just sitting there breathing real heavily. Topin just looks and goes, "Boy, we've done that practical joke to Teddy like at least a dozen times, but that's the funniest time I think I've ever seen it." Everett looks at you, Zoltan, and goes, how come you look like me right now, bud?"
No. Why you look like me?
He goes, "Huh." He goes, "Huh, I guess I didn't think about it that way." And then he, like, uses some druidic power and turns into you.
Damn. Why you ugly?
He goes, "Huh." He goes, "Huh." Yeah, and then he messed up. And so when he looks at you, he's got this, like, big old freaking schnoz. He's like, "Yeah." Huh. He goes, "Oh, shoot." And, like, pushes the nose back and makes it smaller again. He's like, "Ah, there we go." He goes, "Now." Mm-hmm. See? It's not, yeah. Topin just like out of nowhere goes, "You guys are driving this group apart." He goes, "Can't we just go back to the way things were?" About this time, Zoltan, you hear a door open up with like one of the bells, from a shop. They got a bell on the outside that every time the door opens, it hits the corner of it hits the bell and it goes, yeah, chang-a-lang, chang-a-lang, chang-a-lang.
No, it goes,
What'd you say about my mama? It goes ding-a-ling, and you hear it, and there's just something about that chime that just pulls your attention, and you look over at this little shop. It's actually not a little shop at all, and it's carved into the side of one of the. It's a large tree, but it's not tall like some of the other ones. It's you can see the top of it fairly easily, and the shop itself is like built on the front face of it, built out to look like an antique shop that goes deeper into the tree once you go through the front door, and the sign on the shop says "Needful Things." And it draws your attention.
Question: How many gold coins did I win while I was playing Crazy Dice?
We'll say like you walked away with a pot of like 50 gold.
50?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. I'm a gambler. I like it.
Well, you walked away actually with 100, but you accidentally dropped like 50 of them.
Oh. Damn. It's whatever. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna walk over to the shop while shape-shifting back to my normal self.
Everett goes back to being Everett, and him and Topin come running up, and they're like, "Where are you going?"
I point at it and say pretty.
And they're like, that place? You don't want to go in there. The place is boring. I call it needful things, but I've never needed anything out of there.
But what if I needed something out of yonder?
What could you possibly need out of a place that looks that boring? Again, why call it needful things when not everybody needs something out of it?
But I shall never know until I look.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, we'll wait outside then.
All right.
We're gonna, we'll just play rocks or something.
Okay.
And that game Rocks is exactly what you think. They just start picking up rocks and throwing them at each other.
I figured. Just start decking each other with a rock.
Whap! Oh, that one hurt. Oh, you whap! Oh! Too hard. As you enter Needful Things, it is an antique shop. It is full of all sorts of different, antiques really, but it's got that like old-fashioned, old-timey feel to it, you know? The wooden shelves, it's a clean place, but yet it still feels like it needs to be dusted, you know? It stretches far to the back of the tree with different areas that you can go into and look at different antiques and stuff. The front area of it has different kinds of vases and like armor and swords and books and just anything, but it all looks old. Like none of the armor you would wear, for instance, right? It all looks like it would make like a display piece somewhere, you know? Some of it you don't even like recognize the style of the armor, you know? Or even some of the weaponry. You're like, who would use a weapon like that? You know? Type of thing. Some of the books say things like the Island of Kin is one of them, which just at a glance it says the theory of the Island of Kin, the lost continent, and just different things like that, right? Just different stuff. When a woman suddenly, like, you are so lost in just looking around that you don't even realize that you have been approached by a woman in the shop. She, to get this accurate, because accuracy matters, but she has these bright hazel eyes and long dirty blonde hair. She wears like a green I want to say embroidered garment with brass styled inlays on it. But what's really interesting is she wears like a sort of like crown on her head. that has a veil attached to it that she lets drape over the back, over her back and over her shoulders. And she smiles at you and like takes you by complete surprise because she's just smiling as she says, "Have you found anything you need?"
Just browsing.
She says, "Oh." She says, "You're a foreigner to High Forest, aren't you?"
See?
She says, "We don't get too many albino half-elves in these parts, of course." She says,
Mm-hmm.
She says, "But if it's all the same to you, I have been waiting for a customer just like yourself." She says, "We are needful things after all, and I think I might have something you need."
Ah. What does that be?
Do what?
What do you think I need?
She says, "What we all need. Answers."
Hmm.
Says, "I, however, find my answers, like most people do, in the most random of places, at the most random of times." And she gives you a half smile. She says, "And there is no more of a random place than my little shop, at the most random of times, just before I was about to close. And you have clearly been out enjoying the festivities." She kind of smells you. She could smell the liquor on you. She goes, "Halflings?"
Yep.
She says, "They never come in here. They are immune. They seem to need nothing at all, and yet take everything." She says, "Come, let me show you what I have." And she takes you to the back. You go through a few like areas, again looking at different things. There's like an antique globe. Oddly enough, you see like an actual globe that looks like it's got like continents on it and stuff, and just different things. And she's like, yes." She points at the globe and she says, "More theory than accuracy, I think." And then she keeps walking. And she takes you to this book of rhymes, of children's rhymes. She says, "Yes, something that everybody with a heart like a child would love to have." And she like holds it out to you. Now, this book of rhymes, even though it's children's rhymes, it's not decked out to look like the little engine that could, for instance, right? It's a fairly thick book in leather bounding that has been that has had the leather worked and indented and embroidered, if you will, to not be just smooth leather. The whole thing looks like a tangle, almost like a web or something with on the book. And in gold leafing on the front, it says, children's rhymes, of the past. I have nothing more clever than that to say.
That's the best he's got.
Yeah, that's the best I got right now. As she says, and she holds it out to you and she says, "The very finest. And something about it does catch your eye, Zoltan. You don't know why something so superfluous as a book of children's rhymes would hold your attention so, but you begin leafing through it, you know? And it doesn't have like an index that tells, you know, starting on this page here and, you know, to this page, you'll get this rhyme and so on and so forth. No, you've just got to kind of leaf through it and see, you know, what. But you come to a rhyme about a well-known thief by the name of Chanticleer.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah. And before you have a chance to really like delve into it, she reaches out and closes the book and takes it back and says, "Yes, very, very nice book full of useful information, as most rhymes that children say have been taught to them by adults who told stories or secrets, but kept those secrets in playful rhyme as a way of communicating or conveying their secrets to those in the know. You see." Says, "But you probably really don't want this, do you?"
There was a rhyme that stuck out.
Says, "Oh. Says, oh, well, good. Perhaps you do want it then." And she smiles at you now. But there's something different. You want the book or not? You tell me. You tell me. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wish for thy book.
Says, oh. Says, well.
It's only 50 million coins.
Well, she just smiles at you like, she goes, aren't you curious how much it costs? Or is money not an object to you?
How much does it cost?
He says, well, fortunately for you, money's not an object to me either. She says, I can tell you really want this book. And she says, so instead of paying something so superfluous as money is, we get by just fine here. How about we trade in a favor?
As in, I take a book, but I owe you a favor?
Yes, but I will be specific on the favor. So it's not like I'm leaving you in this nebulous state of mind about what it is I require of you.
Okay. What is it you require?
She says, I can give you this book, and I know that, well, I may be being a little cheeky here, but I did see you come into town earlier. You were escorting a Otis Hirokin, correct? Champion of Obod High, the god of High Forest. She says,
oh, that's who I was with. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he's connected to a group called the Inglorious Few. I imagine you yourself might have some position within that group as well.
Perchance.
Says, well, I represent, my shop is as humble as it is, and she says that very tongue-in-cheek because it's actually kind of gaudy now that you get to looking at it, you know? It no longer has that like old-timey feel to it. There's something that's changing about the whole vibe of this place. You know what I mean? She says, I myself am a representative of one of the houses that your house for Risen is associated with. We are a new house, and part of our earnings go to my house, of course, in White Sword. I'm a representative of House Desire. And my lady, Lady Emma Desire, I understand that your Lord, Android Farisen, is going to be meeting with all the different lords and ladies there in White Sword soon enough. And she is going to be making a move to push out a certain organization in Blackflail known as the Gallery. We're not trying to take over their business there in the nation of Blackflail. No. We just want to take away their business in White Sword. We want to take over that portion of their business and just put the Gallery back in Blackflail. They won't lose really much. It will just allow us to keep White Sword business in White Sword, if you will. And I know that if you spoke with Android, he would, if you could convince him to vote in favor of Lady Emma, we'd so much appreciate it. And I'll give you this book as a earnest compensation right now. Just as long as you do it. If you don't, we'll have to collect in a different way. But I mean, I know you'll convince Android to do it. I'm sure he trusts your word.
So let me get this straight real quick. Let me make sure I heard all this right. You want me to convince Android to vote for your lady to get rid of... Who are we getting rid of again?
Oh, I'm sorry. It sounds so sinister when you put it like that. No, we're not really getting rid of anybody. We're just taking over a business in White Sword that the Gallery has a monopoly on. But see, the Gallery is stationed out of Blackflail, so it's almost like Blackflail has a hold in White Sword, and we don't really like that.
So you want to get rid of the Gallery so they could just stick to their region.
Exactly.
Okay.
The owner of the Gallery, a Daedra Monet, she's had the Gallery here in White Sword for decades now, and it's just time that we had somebody in White Sword running this particular industry instead of Daedra Monet's Gallery. That's all.
Okay. I could talk to Android about that.
Yeah, that's all. Lady Desire. That's it. Just tell him Lady Desire would much appreciate that, and they would be a strong ally to House for Risen. Tell Android that it's no secret that he will eventually be invited to join the murder. He may not understand what that means now, but he will. And let him know that a little birdie told you that he's going to be invited to the murder. And it'll be at the murder that we'll need his vote.
Okay.
She says, and you can just have the book now. And she holds it out for you.
Alrighty.
She says, one more thing. And as you take the book and everything, she puts a hand on your cheek and leans in to kiss you.
Wow.
But before she can do that, like, she all of a sudden stops and you feel her hand tremble on your cheek and she jumps back and goes, "You've already been kissed."
I have.
She says, "I would handle that soon."
Ooh.
She kind of like flexes her hand a little bit and then kind of shakes it off and rubs it, and she's like, "Cause, yeah."
She just tried to do the thing that happened to me way back when. This bitch.
She says, "We're closing now. See yourself out."
She tried to do that shit. How dare she try to do that? I'm still trying to figure out how to get all the soul shards. This woman. This woman tried to kill me. How dare she try that?
Are you?
I already know this. I already know this trick. That's why I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Like, in all that confusion, and then all of a sudden you're like having this conversation, and then when you like look up and look around, you realize for some weird reason you walked out of the shop without realizing it. And Topin and Everett are out there throwing rocks at each other still, and they stop and they look at you just with the confusion on your face, and they're like, "Oh, you bought a book?"
Now I got this thing for free.
And I say, "Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What? She just drop it? You should give it back."
Nah. That ain't the halfling way.
They say the halfling way. What do you think we are, thieves?
Nah, she just dropped it.
Okay.
And it's closed.
And like Everett just kind of nudges Topin and he goes, "Boy, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's a thief." Now we're gonna shoot over to Mindock. Yeah.
Hey.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get everybody in on this session so we can set up. That way next week we can really get into it. You know what I mean?
No, I have no idea. Explain it to me.
Oh, you will. So, Mindock, where is Mindock right now? In his mansion?
Yeah, it has a pocket mansion.
What's he
Delish.
doing?
So, I want to take that little jar and set it on a desk somewhere.
Your little, that with the Shinigami inside of it?
Yes.
So you take out the, it's like a vial, wasn't it? Or was it like a full-on jar? I can't remember.
I think it was like a potion bottle, actually.
Okay. So you pull
An
out this
empty one.
potion bottle and you see this like wisp of an icy, like spiritual, like being in there with eyes. Like the second you take the potion bottle out and set it on the shelf, it like instantly gets up to the glass and you see its eyes just staring at you menacingly.
Very nice. You might know.
And it says,
So,
"Release
do
me."
you talk? Oh, good, you do. Releasing you. I might be able to do that with time, but I have some questions for you first.
Release me, creature.
I will ask, and you will answer one way or the other. If need be, I can probe your mind directly. You waste only your own time.
What is it that you want?
I want to know why we were attacked, and why the area we were in at the time was attacked. Who you are, and where you came from.
You challenged the master. You called him, he came.
So it was the invoking of his name that summoned that.
He has been looking for you. He lost you for a time. His other servant failed him.
You mean the group? Or someone specifically?
I don't know. He says he's like, I'm just one of the, look, I'm just a foot soldier, okay? All I can tell you is that once upon a time, he had somebody who could watch you. And then they split. And then when you called him out at the Dragoon below, he found you again. And so he sent us. You weren't even supposed to fight King. King was supposed to just observe and see how strong you guys had become.
It seems there is a lot you can tell me. And from where did you come?
Chaos.
So it's kind of narrow. Chaos?
The Shinigami are not natural residents of this plane. We keep the followers of Told off. Well, I should have said the master, but whatever. We keep the followers of the master in line. On the continent of Pangshun. But we don't come from the material plane. We come from the chaos.
Wouldn't mind Doc rather know who they are, like what they're referring to here, or is that something I should roll for? Or is that just no point rolling?
Okay, so you might have to research that a little bit.
Okay.
Because you know there are beings of chaos, right? When he says chaos, that could mean a lot of things. Does he come from the abyss? Is he one of the chaotic creatures from the Nine?
It's kind of what I was thinking.
You know, you'd have to like talk with somebody or research a book or something. You know, find some kind of knowledge that could pinpoint like a Shinigami in general, you know?
Well, as a form of research, my Doc things from him then, so by what other names is this origin of yours to?
He says, me? I come from the limbo.
So, I see. And your master? Do they originate from the same place?
Oh no. My master has no origin. He's an alpha and omega.
Well, That's something to think about. I'm glad that you understand it's in your best interest to be so cooperative. I will have more questions later, but in the meantime, you will be here. Eventually, should you continue to humor me, I will release you.
With that, it like, while he was talking with his eyes and like you could see his eyes and everything, he looked to take on like an icy cloud like shape inside the bottle. But once he sighs in disgust at you, it just looks like a thick icy fog just fills the bottle and just permeates there.
Okay, priorities. I'm going to set about researching this limbo.
Now remember
As
that.
best.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, remember now, you do have Crowley, who seems to have a lot of knowledge as well.
Good point.
In certain things. You know.
Well, yeah, I was gonna take more drastic measures, but actually, I'll stop there.
What were you gonna do? What were you thinking?
Just the typical appear in a library sort of thing.
Oh, right.
Cool. All right then. Thanks for having me. It is good to get little reminders like that because it's been a minute. But yes, I will go see Crowley.
Okay, so you you approach the skull, and I'm just gonna say you say his name, like, or what? What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you're present, skull.
The skull, you know, it's a skull. It's got a red gem in the center of its forehead. And then all of a sudden the eyes begin to blink on for a minute and they glow red themselves. And Crowley just comes to it and he says, "Oh, Mind Duck, how are you?"
Oh, yeah. Quite fine. I came with questions.
About the calligraphy?
Not this time. I acquired a guest of sorts, and they tell me they're from a chaos, a limbo they refer to it as. Was wondering if you might have any insights.
Limbo. This is Limbo. Well, thinks and he goes, "I have heard something once upon a time about places called Limbo, Purgatory, and Sigil."
These are different places with some relation, or names for the same place?
According to what I remember hearing, and mind you, I was speaking with a rather voracious Gerbazu when he it's a funny story really. The Gerbazu was accidentally summoned. I was trying to summon, well, you know what, it doesn't matter. That was different times and I had different needs in those days. But the Gerbazu, he came and yeah, he friendly fellow once he calmed down, and we got to talking and he told me stories about something on the nature of a blood war on the fields of Pandemonium. And yeah, he referenced he referenced these places, Limbo and Purgatory, all different places, but all within the same realm. Yes. It said used to be a place of absolute chaos. The blood war between the demons and the devils raging there left and right until the oh, that's right. And when he says that, even though he's a skull, somehow he manages to emote like kind of like ooh, apprehension now as to what he's talking about, as his teeth kind of clank together with like a click. Says, that's right, the Lady of Pain. Yes, the Lady of Pain built sigil there, and that kind of put the kibosh on the blood war taking place in Pandemonium, but it was forever changed. So that could be the Limbo he's talking about, the one in the realm of Pandemonium. Why, were you thinking of traveling to this horrid, wretched, dangerous, and terrible place?
If need be. I want to know the origin of this specimen I've acquired, primarily. It came in rather a storm of violence that I would like to avoid in future.
Well, if it's a being of chaos, do you know any other way to show up but in a storm of violence? Aha!
Well, what is your precise meaning?
Meaning that, if you're looking to go and travel to a place of chaos, I wouldn't expect to have many friendly denizens living there.
Certainly.
I mean,
Any information on the nature of this limbo and its potential effects on someone accustomed to this plane would also be good to know.
It's chaotic. Demons and devils don't seem to have a problem with it. They fought there for years. Centuries, decades, millennia. I really don't know how time works for such beings, but not personally anyways, with my limited the limitations that I'm faced with now. However, I would say that there has to be some kind of order, because the blood war no longer takes place there after the Lady of Pain built sigil. So whatever kind of order she's bringing there, it has to be something. But then again, I don't know much about this Lady of Pain and how civil she may be. She may hold that for... It may be one of those things where she's obtaining order out of chaos, as it were. In other words, in order to keep everything in line, she slaughters everything.
I see. Is it one of those places where it's familiar enough to someone of this plane that travel and time work in a at least recognizable way?
Says, oh, you seriously mean to go there, huh? Well, if I'm to be honest with you, Mindoc, I don't know the first way of getting there. I imagine, you are a wizard and you are capable of teleporting, but, some places you teleport there, it has adverse effects. This Pandemonium, I myself have never personally been, so I cannot say what it will be like for you when you get there. If you are seriously considering going there, I will say that it is a place of chaos, and so when you're considering chaos and its energy, you might look into the effects of chaos energy on your physiology personally, or your kinds. you are elven after all. Maybe it's got some adverse effects on you.
A good starting point. I have some protections against these things, but I would like to know before. I'd like to know more before risking it. Unless there's anything else you can tell me, I may go to research this further.
He says, He says, are you familiar with the Library of Sphinx?
I don't believe so.
Says it's located over there on the continent of the Great Desert, the Alihazar. Not very hot, very, that's why they call it the Great Desert. There is the city of Sphinx, and there is the Library of Sphinx. Now, you might be tempted to go to the Library of Rhodes, and this is a terrible mistake. While the Library of Rhodes touts itself as to being the greatest library in all of the world, which it's got some right to that claim, the Library of Sphinx, I would say, is your better chance. It's got some more obscure knowledge there, considering that the librarians who run that they all come from different places in the world. Very
good to know.
Yes, while the Library of Rhodes is all under the control of the Sherakim and no one else, the Library of Sphinx has scholars from all different areas. So you might be, maybe one of them there might have some better knowledge of pandemonium and the different things it may or may not entail. Or at least could point you in the right direction, even if they don't.
Good. That should do as a starting point.
Yes, I myself visited the Library of Sphinx once, back when I was healthier. And yes, it is quite knowledgeable in more obscure things.
Well, I had best be off then. Before some other big happening demands our attention.
Good luck, and be careful, Mind Doc. Remember, the weave is just that. It's a weave. It's a web, and the web sometimes tangles. Be careful. With that,
Doc gives a nod and walks out.
Don't tell me how to live my life. With that, Crowley's eyes fade and the gem quits glowing and he just looks like a skull again.
Alright, I'm just trying to figure out how something works quickly. I want to put an... you know what? To be safe, I'm just gonna take it with me. I'm gonna take the potion bottle with the little demon in it with me.
Oh, yeah. Alright.
I'm gonna leave that in my damn place, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, I'll pocket that, and let's see. I've rested, so I have all the things. We make this expedient.
So
Kind
you
of message. Oh yeah.
what are you doing? I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, I'm just I'm thinking of I can how I ideally want to get there is all. Okay. I'm going to go to find Android quickly.
Okay. Well then, before you do that, before you get to Android, let's go to Android now.
Sorry, correct myself. I just realized that was unnecessary news. I'll just tell, you can still go to Android, but I will just tell, like, I'll leave my little area, and I imagine the guards are still vaguely there.
Yeah, there's guards.
Yeah. I'll just tell them, inform Android that I am traveling, and will find them when I am done with my little expedition.
Okay. They just nod. Like, all right. They're just kind of like side-eyeing you a little bit, like, oh, okay. All right.
Then I'll just pop back into my...
You like clearly make them. You make them nervous. They're just kind of like, why do we have that guy here?
Yes.
All right. So going. Okay. So you're gonna teleport to Sphinx, right?
I would imagine I'd have to like scry first to get a visual image of the place, really. But wait, I don't remember how my teleport works. Either way, yeah, I would get there eventually.
Okay, so we're just gonna say you're gonna do all that, and everything that you have to do that, we'll just say that you're doing as we go to Android. Okay. Because what you're doing is that's gonna take us into a whole thing. So. Everybody's about to go into a whole thing, so we're moving, we're just kind of moving along to get everybody set up for the things. Android, you still with us?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's awake, everybody.
Can you hear me okay? This is my head. Alright.
You're good. You good.
You sound as bad as you always do.
Ah, shit, yeah.
So, Android, you are walking with Sebastian as he, you guys were going to talk with these different people that he's brought to meet with you, of course. And for the record, Sebastian isn't dressed all casually the way he normally does, because you are holding business today. Sebastian is dressed in his business attire, He's wearing his red cloak, silken cloak with his blue silk vest, and he just looks, or his purple silk vest. He just looks like he is ready to basically be your liaison, your it's all about looking proper, looking the part. You know what I mean? So he's dressed in his red fine cape and his purple silken vest with his yellow shirt and his black pants and shiny shoes, everything's embroidered, everything's gaudy as hell. You know what I mean? And before you have a chance to meet with the people, he pulls you aside and he says, and he's just like pointing at you and he goes, you look like you just got off a boat.
Goddamn.
What do you mean?
He says, I know that when you left here wearing this, it was extremely fancy and nice. He says, but you haven't changed clothes in what I'm guessing in a month.
Oh, no. Android wore that mismatched set of clothes out to the Adventures League. You remember? He got up in the morning and he dressed himself like he was a kid.
Oh, that's
I
right.
mean, I can understand
I
him
forgot
being
all
like,
about- I
you
forgot all about
are
that.
like not matching in the slightest. You are
I
wearing
forgot.
the gaudiest, ruffliest shirt,
God.
type thing. Like, yeah.
Says that's right. He's
I mean,
like,
I can still see him complaining about my outfit,
Yeah.
but I am wearing clean clothes. He might be complaining about my smell because I have not bathed.
he says,
But clothes are clean.
he says, it looks like Elsa dressed you.
Android just kind of cocks his head confused, and he looks down at his clothes, kind of disappointed, and he's like, I thought I looked nice.
Says, when you really would, if those clothes, were with their matching sets. But you're wearing about he says, but you're actually wearing about like 15 different styles right now, Android. And we can't do that. It's just not, it's not befitting of the Lord of the house to look like his mother told him to get dressed for chapel, and he ran in and dressed himself.
He just puts a hand on his hip and furrows his brow, He's like, Sebastian, it's clear to me that I'm going to need your help with this. He's like, you look nice.
He says, well, that goes without saying, darling. But regardless of that, you really think I look nice, though? He just kind of, and then he stops and goes, nope. He says,
he's like, yeah, that cape is awesome.
He says,
He's like the boss giving a compliment.
He says, this
So
is what
happy.
we're going to do. And he takes you in and takes you down and opens up your, personal bath. And in there are women. This isn't like a nasty thing. They're all clothed or whatever.
No,
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel you.
And he pushes you in and he says,
No.
he says, ladies,
No.
he smells dead. Clean him.
And it's like, I don't know if I can let these women touch my body, bro.
So Solar flies off his shoulder and goes, I don't know if I'm going to stay in here for this. He goes, I'm going to go watch the door where the wizard's at. He goes flying away. And Sebastian says, it's fine, Android. Do what you got to do. And then he just shuts the door.
You hear screaming from a dentist's office on the other side of the door.
He's like, oh my gosh. And he looks up and he's like, Hieronius, give me strength. Or no, Cuthbert, give me strength. Please. And then he opens, and after what should have been 20 minutes, but only lasted 5 minutes because you just were not doing much more than that. Sebastian returns with fresh clothes for you to wear. And the women are just in there being like, I am so sorry. They're apologizing to you. Please, my lord, we're really good at our job. Don't fire us. We didn't know. And Sebastian's like, what happened?
Yeah. Android's just assuring them that they'll keep their jobs and that he's apologizing incessantly. He's like, it's just a personal thing. I don't like being touched.
Yeah. You're putting on your own bathrobe and everything, the one was trying to help you with it. You're like, don't touch me. So Sebastian has got he's got what has got to be the gaudiest looking top hat with a gold feather in it.
Sebastian looks like a pimp.
A fine golden embroidered silver jacket with suit and matching pants, and a red scarf for you to wear. And he hands them to you and he says, put those on.
Oh, he wants me to look like the pimp.
He says,
Okay.
he goes, he says, every lord looks pretentious. That's what being a lord is. You've got to look pretentious. Your father understood that. The other lords understand that. So you're gonna have to understand that. The only reason why the difference between what is the word? What is the word I'm actually looking for?
Nobody knows.
It's like it's another way of saying crazy, but you're not crazy. You're like almost
delusional.
Like absurd. You're almost it's not
ridiculous.
No. Criminy. I can't believe I forgot this word. I can't believe eccentric. Says, I'll explain this to you, Android. The difference between eccentric and crazy is whether or not you have money.
Android kind of thinks about that. He's like, okay, I guess I see what you mean by that.
He's like, yes, so put on these beautiful, wonderful, god-awful clothes and meet me out there. And you do. You look very pretentious and eccentric.
I'm going to say that Android puts the hat on backwards, not knowing, and Sebastian has to fix it. He's like, well, I don't know which way it goes.
He's like, oh, good grief.
He's like, the feather is pointing one way, and he's like, I thought it would look cool if it was pointing out.
He goes, no, why would it look cool pointing out? He's like,
because it looks like a blade.
He says,
it's like what? A blade pointed at you.
He says, what? Why does that seem cool to you? It sends a message like everybody you meet, you want to stab? Come on.
Exactly.
Yes,
what isn't cool about that? You Quill would approve.
He says yes, and
facts.
He says yes, and you Quill probably didn't know how to read until he was 20. Let's go.
I'm still not sure if he knows how to read.
He in fact does, just not well.
With that, T. Sebastian
Andre has been holding the talk button on the mic the whole time. On the ring.
When he says that too, like after he says all that in conjunction, he like stops and thinks about it and he goes, don't tell you Quill that I said that about the reading thing.
It's like an audio log for you Quill later on, like in a JRPG, you know? You Quill will hear about this later.
Yeah.
Android wasn't realizing that he was holding down talk, and he's like, oh shit. And it sets off.
Oh shit.
Quill's just
people are gonna catch hands when I get back.
Yeah, Quill's like, what the man? What did I do?
What the fuck, man?
Like, I'm gonna slap.
I learned how to read at an early age. It's not my fault it was fucking weapon planning, okay?
I know how to read. My father was a great man. He taught me how to read.
You're a fucker.
Yeah. I mean, it was nothing extravagant. Our Reward's a good book.
Yeah. Not all of us are born to lords and ladies. You pricks. So Sebastian takes you, Android, after all that, and he goes, now you're ready to meet with the public. Now you represent House Farizon.
I must admit, this outfit does look pretty fly, Sebastian.
He says, well,
fly for a white guy.
He says, your father preferred it.
But tell me, don't I look clean, though?
He says,
yeah.
In all honesty, if you feel around on it, he had it tailor-made. It looks ridiculous, but go ahead and give yourself a stretch in there. You'll find that if you have to fight, it'll be a lot easier than fighting in some of the more uptight things that some of these others have to wear. And so
Android just kind of like stretches out, and he's like, yeah, you're right.
says yes. So if it was preferred by your father as well. As crazy as it looks. But anyways, I digress. Who do you want to meet with first? This Jared Steele or this Dargus Wave Smasher?
Jared Steele was the one about the bad day?
I believe so.
About my
yes.
ammunition?
Yes.
And that's the one I want to see first.
Says, okay, good. We've been keeping him. That'll be great, actually, because we've been keeping him here until you got back, and he's been living pretty much rent-free for a while here, and so it'll be nice to finally have a reason to kick him out.
I'm sure he'll be happy to go about his own business as well.
Well, either way, at least he'll be able to have a reason for being here and using up all our resources, as it were.
Sure.
Whether or not, we'll just see. I don't know. If I'm being honest with you, I don't really know heads or tails of any of this bad day business. So, but he seems to know.
Have you seen it? Have I shown it to you?
I don't think so, and no, I don't think you have.
Would you like to see it?
Says, and let's just handle some business.
Android has this coy smile on his face, like a little cheeky grin, and he's like, "Oh, come on, you want to see it."
He goes, I don't. I don't care to see it at all, if I'm being honest with you. He's
like, it packs a punch.
If I had my way, you'd put up all your weapons and just focus on being the lord of the house. All the time.
Oh, maybe one day.
He says yes, or you'll end up dead and we'll have to do this all over again.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
He says, not at all. Let's go.
No, not at all.
So he knocks on the door of a room, and Sebastian pokes his head in and goes, "Oh, good grief." And he shuts the door and he goes, "Come on, Mr. Steele." And you just hear a voice say, "Just a minute." And you hear some giggling for a minute as you watch.
He was brandishing his bad day.
Yeah, as you watch like 3 women go running out of his room wearing nothing but just blankets as they go.
Oh my word.
He goes, again, he's been using up all the resources.
Yeah, apparently.
You walk in and you see this gentleman.
You hear echo in your mind of things you Quill once said would be good investments, and they were brushed off.
Yeah.
Save some for you, Quill.
You see this gentleman with blonde hair, a long, like one of those long, almost handlebar mustaches with a beard, a finely trimmed beard. He's getting dressed. He's wearing like a dusty leather vest, like jacket vest with like a dusty travel shirt. He wears a belt, but his belt buckle is actually like a compass. And he's got like a cowboy hat. But what really strikes you as odd is the fact that he's got, at first you think they're gauntlets. They look like these almost brass gauntlets that he's wearing that look almost more technologically advanced than you're used to, until you realize they're his hands. Those aren't gauntlets at all. Those are hands that he's got there. He's got 2 mechanical hands that well, until now you would have thought that was kind of an impossibility. You know what I mean? You've heard of things like golems and mechanized creatures of that sort, but you've never seen it quite applied to like flesh in such a way.
Yeah, so like instead of flesh hands, he's got these mechanical hands.
Yes.
Cool.
And he looks at you with his steel blue eyes and he says, "What can I do for you? Sebastian, you here to bug me about paying up my tab? Because I'm here upon your request." Sebastian says, "No, actually, Mr. Steele, the Lord of the Manor has returned. And you guys can finally conduct your business. And then maybe we can talk about compensation for everything that House Farizan has provided you." And that's when Jared looks at you, Android, and he just kind of looks you up and down and goes, "You him?"
Android kind of nods, and he's like, you seem like a man of business, like you like to get straight to the point, so I'll do exactly that. He kind of reaches into his bag and pulls out the bad day and holds it forward to him, and he's like, "What can you do about stocking me with munitions for this?"
He looks it over and goes, "Whoa. Now that is a piece, ain't it?" He reaches out one of his mechanical hands, and before grabbing it out of your hands, he like points down at it and then looks at you and goes, "May I?"
And, he just kind of nods and gestures it forward.
He reaches over and picks it up in his hand and then puts it in, starts looking it over. Puts his slides his finger over the trigger and just begins to inspect it, and then starts spinning it just in like different directions, just twirling it on his index finger, kind of doing tricks with it. He's like, he goes, "It's got good weight to it." Spins the chamber. He goes, because where I come from, we don't see too many like this anymore. This is kind of archaic, yet advanced in a weird sort of way. Then he looks at you and says, "Where did you get this? I've never seen one of its design before. Not quite. Seen something similar, but I've never seen something combine the arcane and gear so seamlessly."
Kind of sucks his teeth, thinking on how to respond to that question, and he's like, "Well, if I told you the whole story, you wouldn't necessarily believe me, I'm sure, but I picked it up in a strange place, and I've been having trouble restocking whatever you call it for it. Metal balls." Kind of scratches his head, and he's like, "Clearly I'm not the most educated person on the subject, and that's where you come in, so no pun intended, but shoot me straight on what it's gonna take to stock up for that."
Like, well, where I come from, we call it ammunition. First things first, you gotta know what goes in something like this. This, my friend, is called a firearm. He goes, and we stock it with ammunition. He goes, says, you might tell me the story behind it. Listen, partner, where I'm from, if I told you where I was from, you might have a hard time believing me too. So just try me.
He says, "Okay." And he kind of grabs a nearby chair that I'm assuming is there, that I'm envisioning, like maybe a little desk table chair, and he sits down and he's like, it's going to take a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and sit down for this. And he recaps the story of going to Boracon, and what happened there. Not in super intimate detail, but, he gives him a sort of rundown of what happened, and he's like, so, I walked away with a few items, and I distributed them amongst my party. I believe that I gave my my partner Otis a net that was, barbed to hold down, hold them down. I might have given him a whip also. I forget who I gave that to.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, he's got the dragon's tail. Yeah.
I'm like, you, Quill, walked away with the axe, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Tyrone walked away with iron sights. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was a rifle, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hears about that and he says, interesting. Interesting. So there was a rifle and a firearm. Says, huh.
Well, the rifle was a firearm, but don't let me correct you.
Well, I mean, this is a fantasy world, so I'll turn anything I want. Yeah, I know. Well, you're trying. You're trying. He looks at it and he says, so, He says, well, that's an interesting story. He goes, a whole other reality, huh? Says, where I'm from, it sits in this reality, but it's a different plane of existence. My family migrated from a realm, if you want to call it that, called Mechanus. And over there, we deal with things like this all the time.
Quick question. Would Android recognize that name as being the place where he got the skeleton from, or
yeah,
would he not know? He would recognize it by name.
Oh yeah,
okay. You see that if he were to be like paying attention, he would kind of see this subtle gleam in Android's eye, and he's like, "Would you know how to get back there?"
He goes, "Oh yeah, sure. The rift opens up every once in a while, ever since the age of the rift. But I mean, you just gotta find the right place to do that. There are places that are pretty reliable, but they're, we'd be traveling far. You ain't gonna find one here in Siren, that's for sure. Not on this continent, not in this nation. We'd have to travel a little bit beyond the known, but we could get there."
So Android kind of looks at Sebastian, probably with this look that Sebastian would recognize, that's like, I need to go there. Which I imagine would grind his gears, because it's like, we could just send somebody, right?
Yeah,
but Android's like, I need to personally go.
Yeah, Android gives him that look, and Sebastian just shakes his head very slowly, like, no. Jared goes, but I do have some knowledge myself. A while back, I made friends with a pretty influential person. She sits on this council known as the what is that council called? The Egalitarian Chamber. I guess she was a big well-to-do once upon a time. they called her an inquisitor or whatever. Her name's Maya Reese. She actually comes from a Mechanist too. Most people don't know that. They don't realize they have a foreigner sitting on their council. I equipped her with a weapon quite once upon a time that she still has, I think, to this day. Fortunately for you, I know how to make ammunition. I just need to borrow this thing for a little while to learn exactly how to make the ammunition it's asking for. And if you want, you could just put me on retainer. I'll stay right where I'm at, and we'll see where things go. When he says that, you hear Sebastian now suck on his teeth.
Yeah. In that exact same moment, you see Android kind of look at Sebastian like, what does retainer mean? He doesn't say it. He's just got this look on his face like, what?
Sebastian steps forward and goes, or, and with I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but this would benefit us more than it wouldn't. You can start fashioning weapons of this item, of this type, and we can be the only house that offers these firearms. Jared says, yeah, about that. I don't think your society is ready for something of this kind of nature, but I could make something a little bit less, and we could sell those. Those are already kind of getting around anyways. The pirates mainly use them out there on the waters, but we could start selling them inland and kind of push your society in the right direction as far as technological weaponry goes. And Sebastian says, and then you could pay us a fee for room and board, and then the rest of it can be pure profit for you. What say you, Android? What do you think? We open up yet another branch to the Farizan house with these things?
I just realized if this was like modern day, Trump would get us for creating monopolies on everything.
Oh, we'd be in some trouble.
We don't have that law yet.
We're not there.
Honestly, there
I'm
has
gonna be the
never,
reason that they have to make that law.
we have never had anybody in the government, not a single one. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on, left or right. We have never had a single person in office that has ever allowed a monopoly to slide. Every single one of them have gone after monopolies. I remember the Clintons going after Microsoft once upon a time. It was crazy. I was like, well, what's the problem? And it was explained to me, well, he's creating a monopoly.
Problem is,
the game is,
they have done it, then they just retro fucking fix it. Because you remember AT&T did that in the late 90s. They took over everything that was I think it was Bell telephone.
Yeah.
They took all of their stuff, which was, if you lived around here, was big things. That's who was here. Was Southwestern Bell or some shit like that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, there was that. Google's been doing it for a while now. And nobody really had a problem with Google doing it until they started, being,
lame.
Well, until they started what do you call it? Being biased. And then, if you're going to create a monopoly, the best thing you can do, and I'm going to just say this, even though I shouldn't be, but I'm going to say this. If you're going to create a monopoly, keep your personal opinions to yourself. Don't ever let anybody know what your politics, your religious beliefs, any of that. Don't let anybody ever know what that is. Keep it all to yourself. Don't be biased. Do business on both sides of the aisle, and nobody will care that you have a monopoly. It's the second anybody ever starts becoming biased and starts letting their own personal views, which nobody cares about, start affecting your business, that all of a sudden it's like, well, you know what? We've been looking at it, and it seems to me that, and then somebody's going to get you, and it happens every time. It's like what Michael Jordan told the media when they were like, "You should stop selling shoes. You're letting conservatives buy your shoes because they're Nazis." And he says, "Conservatives wear shoes." That's all he said. Conservatives wear shoes too. He's like, I don't care about anybody's personal opinions. You know, like I just sell shoes. You know what I mean? That right there.
Everybody needs shoes.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. But yeah, anyways, yeah, but you are effectively creating a monopoly, but you're right. There is no laws against that. So in this world, so that's what Sebastian just looks and says, "What do you think, Android? Should we keep this individual around?"
Android's gonna be like, yeah, I like the idea of that. We could discuss, I guess, rates, exclusivity deal, and the possibility of heading into Mechanus at a later date.
Jared goes, "Oh yeah, yeah." He goes, "Now the weaponry I'm gonna be making for y'all ain't gonna be like what I got here," and he shows you his, and it's just a Beretta. And then he puts it back, and he goes, "And it definitely ain't gonna be like this, you know." He goes, "It's gonna be more like flintlock and steel." He goes, "It."
Android's like, that's good. That's a good thing.
He goes, "Think of it as like a pepper box. That's it. Nothing too fancy." He goes, we don't want to rush the advancements of the material plane too much. Gotta let you all come into it on your own."
Works for me. I'm not so much worried about. And kind of scratches his cheek, thinking on how to say it. You know, he's like, I guess, fast tracking technological advancement so much as, and he kind of chuckles to himself, supplying myself with wealth.
He says, "All right." He says, "Well, I can get on board with that, sir." He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, boss." And freaking Sebastian goes, "He's Lord Android Frizen." He says, "Oh, my bad. Boss Lord Android Frizen."
Android just kind of clicks, you know, like, and finger guns at him.
He's like, he sees you do that, and he goes, "Man, I like that." And he at you too, and when he does, he like shoots a bullet from his finger and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." No, I'm just kidding. He's like,
"Oh shit."
He goes,
"I'm dead."
But it does. It sounds like the Tin Man. It's like kink kink. As you and Sebastian leave the room, Jared calls back out and he goes, "Hey, send them 3 women back in here too when you see them, all right? Thank you." He's like, "Thank you, Silk
All right.
Britches."
I'm not gonna look for him, but okay.
Sebastian shuts the door and just kind of, he goes, "There is something about that man that just gets under my skin." Anyways, he goes, "Let's go speak with this Dargus. He's been living here rent-free too, but he has actually been pretty much to himself. He eats a lot, but he's quiet and does not cause any ruckus." So you guys proceed to the next room where you are greeted when he Sebastian knocks on the door and you hear a voice just say, "Come in." And inside the room you see a blue-skinned half-orc with an eye patch who is he's very tall. He's a very large man. He's like 6'7". You know what I mean? Really tall, muscular, tattoos. You notice he's got an eye patch, and he's also got a wooden leg that almost looks mechanical, like Jared's hands. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a peg leg; it's a wooden leg with rivets and things in it, so it can function like a normal leg. But it's like the whole leg. It looks like it goes all the way up to his thigh. You know, it's all just pure wood. You know? And he, as you enter, he just looks at you and he says, "Greetings, Sebastian. You the guy?" He motions to you, Android.
He's like, he nods and he says, "I'm the guy."
Says, "All right, so you've been asking about Captain Corsair, right?"
Correct.
Says, "All right, what do you want with him?"
Good question. Refresh my memory. What we wanted with this.
Who, me? You asking me?
I guess
the DM.
DM.
It had to do with Uquill. Uquill was wanting to find Captain Corsair about the mercurial metal. Apparently, this Captain
is that what it was?
Yeah, apparently this Captain Corsair has some knowledge to it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Android's gonna be like, one of my companions caught wind that this Captain Corsair has a line on this specialty metal, and we were hoping to inquire about that. Secure a line to it, and hopefully profit both ways off of doing so. We'd like to talk about an exclusivity deal.
You Quill, do you remember exactly where Uquill learned that this Corsair had that information?
Maybe I might have wrote it down.
It was like 6 or 7 years ago when you first learned about it, so I wouldn't be surprised if you don't. I kind of remember, but I'm just asking you in case I say it, and then you're like, "Oh,
are you?"
I myself think I remember. I'm just asking in case I'm wrong, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Off the top of my head, no.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Seem to be useless. Yeah.
Maybe I'll say what I think I remember, and if it,
I remember he heard about the metal, and what's it called?
The dang old place, man.
Well,
Mort's Fort.
Again, I'm trying. Yeah, it was something like that. Like I had inquired about where to get something, and they had told me, it's like, "Oh well, we know this captain." Yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm. It was Mort. Yeah, the owner of Mort's Fort. Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember because you bought the sword at Mort's Fort for a pretty high price, and you learned about mercury metal and you were asking about it. And he's like, well, I can't get a hold of it, but I know of a captain who, yeah. So, yeah. So, okay, I'm just asking to make sure I got my story straight, too, because Dargus just looks at you, Andre, and he says, well, what kind of metal is he supposed to be able to have such a line on?
Well, Ed, I'm going to assume that Quill would have relayed all of that to Android, you know?
Fair enough.
The Cliff Notes version, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in his own Quill way, I'm going to assume that he would have relayed that to him. It'd be more like the thing with the thing.
Yeah. He got that shit that I need. Yeah.
He would have given him all of the important words.
Yes. Exactly.
He's gonna be like, Android gets how to communicate with you.
There's a moment in training day he says words. Those words are being said right now in an abyss far, far away.
It was like for the longest time how only Quill could understand Elsa.
Yeah, we spoke the same language.
Yeah. Elsa, only Quill could understand Elsa, and only Android can really understand when Quill is going on. Yeah, when Quill's gotta go into deep explanation, the only one who can understand him is Android. Just like for the longest time, the only one who can
It feels like its own weird little Conan the Barbarian.
It's a chain of command.
Yeah. So I guess Android's gonna be like, I guess it's called mercurial metal. And he was sold it was a sword made of that metal. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. It's Heroes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was the sword. Okay, yeah.
The sword.
I don't think I can make it as cool as that, but I can make a sword of that quality, but maybe not that ability. That word,
right?
That's it.
So yeah, he's gonna be like, even if you can't necessarily secure just weapons, we would like the metal, you know, because my old buddy Quill hasn't taken his hands off that sword since he got it. And, it would be really great for our business and very profitable for you as well. We can assure you.
Dargus just stands up, like, just abruptly. And he starts walking, and he just leaves the room, just slams the door, like, behind him. And, Sebastian just looks at you, Android, like, I don't know.
The Android kind of raises an eyebrow looking at him, and he's like, is that a no?
He's like, I don't know, go catch him.
Yeah, so Android's gonna get up and go after him, I guess, and he's just gonna be like, it's fine if so, but I must inquire, is that a rejection to my offer?
Dargus is like, you know, you're walking alongside of him. He's quiet for a minute as he walks down the steps and everything, and he's heading out like the front door, and he just turns and looks at you and goes, I'll return in a few days with Corsair's answer. Alright? He doesn't particularly like people blabbing about the things that he knows. So, until I get back, keep this whole mercury metal thing to yourself. Understood?
He kind of bows to him, and he says, understood. And if we proceed with business dealings, we will keep his name completely out of it, if that's what he so wishes. We'll just see to it that he gets his compensation.
For the record, if Mort were still alive, I'd kill him. And then he turns around and slams the door behind him.
Kind of, you know. Okay.
Sebastian's like, is he talking about Mort from Mort's Fort? He died in the war. His protege or his nephew took over.
Yeah, one and the same. It was like, I think that went about as well as it could have.
Says, yeah, I suppose so.
At least he didn't squash me.
Says, well, with that all taken care of, that's all the business of the people. He goes, you do have the gala tonight, though. He says, so be prepared for that, and if we're lucky, you'll get invited to the murder.
The murder.
The murder. He goes, that's where we'll get our revenge, is in the murder.
And at that point, Android puts 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, I see what you mean. That's like a cute terminology that they've put together, huh?
They
Call
think
themselves.
they think they're clever. They do. But they're not.
Well, cool.
Says, yes, the murder. He goes, but let's not speak of it until we get invited. I don't want to put it out on the air. Says, until then, let's just worry about the gala. You've got a lot of lords and a lot of their ladies are going to be there tonight. And, for heaven's sakes, Android. Well, let's look at it this way. At least Hargrow will be there with you, so you'll be safe. Snug as a bug in a rug.
Comfy.
And with that, I think we're going to call tonight's session.
Nice.
Yes. We got everyone set up. There's a lot that's going to happen now moving forward.
And not a roll was made. Can we really call this a D&D?
Yeah. No, there was a roll made.
Oh, yeah.
Zoltan
Okay,
had
Zoltan.
Zoltan got drunk. Like got a little tipsy and set a dude's house on fire.
Yeah.
Because, that's Zoltan.
Well, good for you, Zoltan.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just laugh.
Some rolls could have been made, but I didn't really need to suggest them. I was just like, you know what? There doesn't necessarily need to be a roll made here, but if they want to roll it for this, like certain expressions or intentions or something could have been rolled, but nobody did, so I didn't say it. And y'all can guess on which one it was, on who it was.
It was all Android.
All of the time.
But yeah.
Everybody's allowed to play as much D&D as they like.
Exactly.
And some of us, the answer is none.
Well, I mean, look, sometimes D&D is just storytelling. It's not always about combat or rolling. Sometimes it's just about talking and seeing where your character is going to be at.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man.
Yeah, shut up.
Hateful comments. Hateful comments.
Just leave comments. Who cares? Yeah.
I'm gonna go in there and leave comments.
Yeah. No dice rolls. How could there be no dice rolls? How come there wasn't any combat? Anyways, though, well, this is another one on the books, y'all. I want to thank them old school gamers for letting me DM for them yet another session. They are extremely patient with me because this time of year I have to postpone so many sessions. But they keep coming back. They keep helping me tell this story. To the audience out there, you Golden Wonders, I want to thank you for joining us on yet another session. I hope it was enjoyable. And y'all come back now. Stay golden. Say goodnight, everybody.
No.
No.